Hey, enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language episode 612.
The sexiest podcast on the network.
Pew, pew,
Pew,
pew.
pew, pew. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Tony.
Right before we started here, I pulled up good old r/not the onion because I was like, oh, maybe there's something on here.
Yeah.
Everything's just death and destruction, and it's very sad. You remember when it used to be an entertaining subreddit?
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but it's just like the real world has become so ridiculous that if you go back and read Onion articles from years ago, they probably look prophetic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it's insane. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, everything is like, this dude got shot this guy died doing this, man beats neighbor to death of this, African killer bees killed 4 people because of this. It's like, oh, what?
Well, you gotta watch out for Wu-Tang Killer Bees.
Wu-Tang Killer Bees. They on the swarm.
Yeah, no, that's why I said you gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's sad, man.
Yeah.
Who earns?
It is, because I used to love going to that daily just for the ridiculous stories on there. Now almost everything on there, I'm like, I feel like I'm just reading the news. I don't feel like I'm reading.
Yeah, like I said, man.
Weird
death and destruction.
Yeah. So speaking of death and destruction, I made chopped cheese tonight.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I had a little bit of red bell pepper left from steaks that I made over the weekend.
Nice.
So I diced that up real small with, because I usually chop. I know it says most of the recipes say to slice the onions real thin. I tend to dice them up.
Yeah.
So
like I dice them if it's going into meat. I slice them thin for the sandwich.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I just went, I matched the red pepper with the size of the onion and everything and whatever. Yeah, as usual, tasty.
Delish.
So, only downside was I didn't get the buns toasted enough, so it was a mess. Like, it was falling all over the place. But I had some chips with it, so you just use the chips and scoop everything up.
You're good.
Yeah.
I almost want to make one of those and throw it in like a panini press.
Yeah.
So it's all crunchy on the outside.
Yeah. It's funny. I was thinking today, I mean, we'll get to this in a little bit, but the leftover dip that you made,
yeah.
I was thinking about you could totally turn that into chopped cheese.
I still have a little bit left.
Chorizo and cheese, and there's already onion in it, and I mean, you're kind of already there.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea. You almost need a little more like ground beef added to the equation.
Yeah, probably.
But that's
because it's not enough to really hold it together. But
Michelle, if you're listening this tomorrow when it gets released, we might be doing a case of chopped cheese for science.
I was just thinking that it might be a way to kind of take it on day 2 and pivot just a little bit so it's not eating the same thing every day.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's a good idea.
It's fun. It's awesome when you can do that with leftovers. But I mean, also you could do that with tacos. But
but tacos aren't chopped cheese.
No. So here's something funny. Again, this is we hung out over the weekend.
Boy, did we.
Again, we'll get to that. But one of the things was you were telling me about smash burger tacos.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, those sound amazing, right?
Right.
Since you said that to me, and I haven't looked them up at all, I have seen so many things on Instagram showing recipes.
Your phone's listening to you.
I know. And by the way, it does look really, really, they look really
delish,
easy to make, tasty. Yeah. So I'm probably going to have to give that a try here before
I kind of want to make them and then dunk them in like Big Mac sauce.
That's what one of them does, actually.
It seems like the move.
They made it and they didn't put any real sauce on it. They just loaded up with everything else. And then they had the Big Mac sauce as a dipping sauce for it, which I thought was really smart. It's just like I was listening to a new episode of newer episode of Sporkful. I don't know if you've listened to the one where he goes to I think it's I forgot what cuisine it is, But anyway, the place they go to has a pho banh mi,
Nice.
and they take all the like goodness of the pho except for the noodle and put it on like a baguette like you would a banh mi, and then they serve the pho broth as your dipping
Ooh, I haven't
juice.
heard that one. I'm way behind on podcasts, my friend.
And I was like, oh man, I mean, I'm sitting there just salivating, thinking about that as a
Yeah,
dipping
that
sauce.
sounds
But
delightful.
yeah,
I kind of want pho, but that's more of a winter dish for me because it's so
yeah,
soupy. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
sure.
Yeah. So, a friend of mine at work, right?
Mm.
Last week, he took a vacation, and him and his wife went to Grand Rapids, Michigan, aka Beer City, USA. Yeah. This is a guy that I trade beers with off and on with, you know?
Right.
Yesterday he comes to work. He's like, I forgot it at home, but I brought you back something from Grand Rapids. I'm like, oh, cool. All right. That sounds awesome. He's like, I'll bring it tomorrow. Today rolls around. I'm on lunch. And I'm like, oh, shit. I got to go find Todd and get that beer.
Right.
And like we kind of like ran into each other, and he's like, I'll come to you. I'm like, nah, I'm already. Let's go to your lunchbox. He's like, all right, he's like, do you got room in your lunchbox? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm eating now. I'll have plenty of room for a can of beer.
Right.
This is what he brought me.
Oh
a
my.
fucking crowler.
Well, I mean,
I'm like,
nice to bring you a crowler.
I'm like, God damn it, Todd. I'm like, now I owe you a crowler.
Wow.
But yeah, it's from Harmony Brewing, which it must be new since we've been last to Grand Rapids. I've never heard of them.
Nor have I, yeah.
And it's called Black Squirrel. It's a smoked porter.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, he said I'm going to love it, so I'm actually going to pour some right now. But I couldn't believe he brought me a fucking crowler.
Yeah.
Not what I was expecting. I do
Right.
dig the logo, though. The dude with the hop eyes and hop beard. And
oh, yeah.
It's cool as hell.
Good looking logo.
Yeah, right? God damn it. So yeah, I'm gonna be drinking 32 ounces of beer tonight on the podcast. Just to let everyone know.
You've drank 32 ounces of worse. But we'll get to that.
Talk about Baltica Fest. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, no, we drank more than 32 ounces by the time we were all said and done there.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh god. Well, yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So Brian, besides us hanging out, how are things been?
Pretty good. I think I'm really I think I'm pretty close to like recovered, I guess you could say.
Oh,
I'm still
with
noticing
your corona action?
Yeah. I'm still noticing like the main stuff I'm noticing is every once in a while I have a little trouble, like when I take a deep breath I'll still cough just a little bit.
Oh, right.
You know, but other than that, like energy level I'm pretty good. Like my mom is feeling fatigued still. And our neighbor said she felt that way for like 2 months after having it.
Oh my god, that sounds terrible.
And she's like, the only thing you can do is you just kind of got to get up and put your foot in your own ass, because you know how it is. It's like if you just lay around, you're not going to get better typically.
For sure.
But you also kind of can't push too far. Like it's one of those like it's a weird feeling that like when you have this, like how like when you're sick and you start feeling better, and then you kind of like, oh, I'm gonna do all the things, and by like 3 o'clock you're like, oh my god, I'm exhausted. Like it's kind of like that.
Right.
To where,
right.
You go from feeling like you have all the energy in the world to zero in like no time, and you're like, oh boy, I overdid it.
Yeah, I done did fuck up.
So she's kind of dealing with that, but I'm feeling pretty good. It was weird though, because when I'm going out, I've been wearing a mask again, and it's weird doing that, and especially as we get closer to summer, it's going to be harder and harder because it's just hot. Like I can deal with the breathing and all that stuff. It's just hot, and I'm already a person who runs, very.
I mean, are you planning on masking up for like the foreseeable future, or?
Yeah, I think what I'm doing is like whenever I'm going into a place, especially a place that's busy, like grocery stores or Target or those kind of places, or if it's a small store that's densely packed kind of a situation. If there's like usually like when I go into GameStop, there's usually only a couple people in there and there's usually a good distance. It's like I probably should still mask up, but I don't know for sure if I will. But because I really don't want this again. And, I keep reading stuff about, like every time you get it, there's that chance for long COVID. There's that chance for a bad situation, and all that. It's like and also after having it once, I really don't want it again. It was,
It wasn't the best time ever.
Nah. I've done way more fun things.
You don't say.
Yeah. So I think it is. I do need to up my mask game though, because I still have like the surgical masks. I would like to move up to the N95s and stuff, and they're easy to find now. It's not like it was for a while there, where they were going for like $15 a piece or something if you were trying to buy them.
Right.
I think like you can find them pretty much anywhere now. So I just got to find some that are a little more comfortable, because the ones with the rubber bands are absolutely murder on the back of my ears. So I got to find ones that have a little better or I got to put something around the rubber bands to.
You just need to buy a Bane mask and then take out the Bane part and put one of those in it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you can go to talk like this and whatever.
That's what I'll do. I'll just go full respirator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Like I'm Vader, basically.
Yeah. Now we're talking, Brian.
All right. Next time you see me, I'm just wearing one of those, like those kids' Vader masks that has the filter thing in it. Ooh. Like, I don't think that's working. Like, shut up. I feel great.
I feel fine. I'm happy.
Yeah, if I'm going to be Bane, I want it to be... I want to sound like a Harley Quinn Bane, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Either that or you just need a Mandalorian mask.
Yes.
Because despite the fact it just looks like a helmet that slides over your head, whenever they put it on, it's always like...
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what is engaging there, unless it's like a filter for their breathing or something.
I mean, they could go into space with them on, so it must be something.
Yeah, right? Yeah, there's no pressurization issues or anything, so...
Yeah, good to go.
Pretty good. Well, I mean, it is made of Beskar,
Yeah. Best car or the best car?
The best. Yeah.
The best part of waking up is best car in your cup.
That'd be weird. Like just liquid Beskar.
Yeah, that's the Armor song. She's got the little like the ladle of the armor. Like,
oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It all makes sense once I put it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the secret she has, is she drinks it secretly,
Yeah. I'll be invincible from the inside. Dies.
Yeah. I can't figure out what's poisoning me. It's like, are you drinking Beskar again? We told you to quit drinking the Beskar.
No. She's got, well, they can't see her lips. Never mind.
Yeah.
Got Beskar stained down in front of her nightshirt.
Yeah. Right.
Got a nice hot bowl of Beskar and some like tortilla chips.
Yeah, sitting right by her.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like as they're talking, just how do you even chew that? Like, oh, my teeth are going to a Beskar.
Yeah, exactly. Got that Beskar grill.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the next step. Well,
that's
they don't take their masks off, I guess. So.
Some of them do.
Yeah, those ones need the Beskar grills for sure.
I'm telling you, if I invested in a Beskar grill, I'm taking my mask off.
Yeah, for sure. This is the way.
Yeah,
sure.
And then I'll glint.
Yep. Plus, I mean, your teeth would be blaster resistant at that point.
Oh, for sure. Good luck, dentist.
Yeah. Like, you don't have your helmet on. I could shoot you in the head, and they shoot at you, and you just smile. Bing, right off your teeth.
Oh, my God. What a winning smile that would be.
Right? Be like having Wonder Woman's bracelets for teeth.
Right. Right? Oh, God. It's a pretty good beer, Brian.
Yeah?
Very smoky.
Yeah, it certainly looks like a thick bastard over there.
It is, yeah, it's like, yeah, Yeah, you can't even really see through it.
All right. Dang.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Shout out Brew Keepers too in Wheeling for the pint glass. Thanks, Cheeto.
Yep. Yeah. I was just looking at mine yesterday.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. He mentioned he sent me a text because of when I checked in the Scotty Karate over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Because I forgot what episode he said he was listening to, but it was the episode where we met Matt, and I had Scotty Karate for the first time.
Nice. That's funny.
Yeah.
What a coinky dink.
Yeah. So I think it was that one. That was because that was when I had Scotty for the first time, right? Was that
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't that. It was anyway, whatever it was. He said it was my first time having Scotty Karate.
But you got it straight from the horse teat.
I did for sure, and it was fantastic. Because I remember having 2 or 3 of them while we were there. Because
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because I remember going, I'm not even going to try anything else here because this is the way.
Yeah, this is the way.
I mean, they make other good beers, but I was for sure dialed in on that.
You know, I kind of feel like I need a Mandalorian pint glass that just says "This is the way."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, what you need is a protein shaker that says "This is the way" and it's WHEY.
Oh Jesus! Someone that has to exist.
Oh, someone has to have done that. Puns don't go very long without being abused.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that has to exist, or if not, like a workout shirt or something, or
yeah. I was just thinking because of whey powder,
Oh no, for sure.
For those gravy mixers that are called protein shakers or whatever.
I have a couple of gravy mixers, Brian. I enjoy.
Yeah. I have one of those protein shakers that's got like the ball in it.
Yeah, a little shaker ball.
Yep.
That's real fun to clean.
Mine's not bad. I've never had an issue with it.
Okay, maybe here's the correction.
I rinse it really well afterwards.
That's the problem.
Okay.
See, when I used to be heavy into the protein drinks, I'd be leaving the gym, driving to work, chugging the protein shake, and then I put it in my cup holder, and then the day goes on.
Right.
And then I drive home, and then I open the lid, and I almost throw up.
Right.
Because that whatever happens in the span of 10 hours with sunlight and heat and whatever that is.
Yeah.
Oh boy. War crimes.
Well, it makes sense why, when you drink enough of those, usually, you start releasing ungodly vapors as well.
Oh, for sure.
Makes sense. It's like once it hits that heat, it just turns awful.
Yes, exactly.
Oh God. Yeah, most of the time when I'm using mine, it's at home. So when I'm done, I just rinse it out real well, and I don't have an issue. So.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yep, that's right. I guess. I don't know.
Look at this guy showing off, talking about how he rinses stuff immediately.
Sorry, I don't let it cook in my vehicle.
There you go. It's just marinating.
No, because you're right. If you don't get those rinsed real well and they set for even a day, the next, when you do go to wash them, you're like, oh my God, what does that stink?
What does that stink? And then it's this concrete film coated to the outside of the shaker ball.
Yeah, because that is what you're doing. Is you're literally mixing Quikrete.
Mm-hmm. Talk about muscle building.
Yeah, that's why it fills you up, though.
It's true.
Just drinking some.
Can use it to build a strong foundation. No. Foundation, guys. Nope. Foundation.
This woman I follow on Twitter posted a thing today that was kind of what bizarre home remedies did you grow up with kind of a thing. And
this could actually be a good Q to W.
It actually might. Maybe we can just use it for that. But I'll try, if I can find her tweet, I'll use her tweet. But she mentioned that when she was growing up, if she got the trots, her mom used to make her drink water with flour in it, thinking that since flour thickens up like a gravy, that it would thicken up your
really sticks to your ribs.
Right. And that's so awful for multiple reasons. One, flour can contain salmonella.
Yeah.
It says, I mean, I don't know if you've seen this or not recently. I just got a bag of flour the other day because we had some that had been recalled. So on the new bag, it says basically like, cook me before eating.
I've seen that because the first time I saw it, I'm like, who the fuck's eating raw flour? Like, what a tasty treat. It's not like raw cookie dough. I get that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Just sprinkling that flour right over the top of I got nothing.
Boy, raw cookie dough is super dangerous. Raw eggs, raw flour.
Yeah.
Playing a fire, guys.
Right. That's right. So yeah, when she said that though, I was just like, oh God, that just sounds. Can you imagine drinking a glass of just roux, basically? But it's not.
It's not like made properly. No, that sounds fucking gross. Which leads us to the next part, Brian. The salty language water flour challenge. Or flour water challenge. I don't know what it's called. Bad.
All I could think of was I would do everything in my power to make sure my parents didn't know I had the runs. If that was what
exactly. Happened. Be pinching it off.
Like, no. Oh, dude, seriously. Like, there were a few others in there that were similar.
The texture.
Oh, I know, right? Just
like, I'm in my 40s, Brian. Every morning I do have a little fiber drink because that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
That texture by itself, I'm not a huge fan of.
Terrible, right?
Yeah, but at least it gets things accomplished. And it tastes okay-ish, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's either that or you go back to your buttered coffee.
I mean, buttered coffee is pretty good, though.
I assume that'll get the job done, too.
I don't know. Maybe both. Maybe I'll make a butter muesli or something.
Oh, butter muesli. I'm just picturing you melt butter and then just mix the Metamucil into it.
It's like some sort of fine paste.
Oh man, no, liquid, like just like hot.
I feel like you're gonna need a lot of butter because I got a feeling that shit's gonna clump up in a millisecond.
Oh, for sure, it's gonna be real gross.
Oh my God,
yeah,
it's like making pesto.
It's like when you're making weed butter. You got to infuse the butter with the fiber
naturally.
Then you form it back into sticks and then use it.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually. What if you just took flavorless, was it psyllium husk? And just made like psyllium husk butter and just baked a bunch of brownies with it and just watch all your friends shit their pants.
I mean, you could just use X-Lax instead.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, shit their pants with with like the perfect log.
Oh. Just have parties. Whoever has to go first, loses, kind of a thing.
Mean, yeah, they do.
That's the kind of parties us old people have.
Exactly. The old poo party.
Yeah. Oh, you had to go first. Like, wait, I feel like I won.
Exactly. Like all my gut pain's gone now, guys.
Like, I feel like I'm the winner here, not the loser.
I feel like I'm 5 pounds lighter and floating. It's amazing.
Yep. I feel like I'm back to my fighting weight.
Exactly. Home remedies. We should touch on that at the end of the show because I think that could be a fun one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna tweet while we're kind of yapping here.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm tired, Brian.
Yeah.
Like we didn't record yesterday.
Are you?
So tired. We didn't record yesterday because I had some things around the house that were happening, which is fine.
Yeah.
But dude, as soon as I laid down, it was just like wide awake.
Perfect.
Why? And then the worst part was I started falling asleep. I had the weirdest dream. Like I was dreaming, I was playing some sort of Doom-like game. Like the graphics looked Doom-like.
Okay.
But all I was doing was throwing C4 at police.
Okay.
Which like they were coming down a hallway. I'd throw C4, detonate it. Throw C4, detonate it. Then like a guy goes coming in like Juggernaut armor. I had to hit him multiple packs.
Right.
It's a weird dream. And then for some reason, just boom, I just snapped awake.
Right.
I'm like, ugh, and I'm like, stupid me. I'm like, oh, maybe my alarms were ready to go off. Nah, it was like midnight. I'm like, God damn it.
Right.
So then I'm just like, well, fuck it. Let me get on my phone and play my stupid match game, which puts me to sleep usually when I'm tired. And I'm over there making matches and casting spells, being a fucking wizard.
Yeah.
And then I hear next to me, why are you on your phone? Like, just because I can't sleep. Oh, but I'm like, God damn it. Rubbing it in.
Yep.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I don't even know what time I fell asleep, but that shit sucks, bro. Like, if I hadn't already delayed the podcast, I would have been like, hey, how about tomorrow?
Right. Right.
But I already delayed it yesterday. I couldn't do it again today.
Yeah. Understandable.
But, man, after 32 ounces of black squirrel and no sleep, I'm gonna be ready for bed when we're done doing this. I might just fall down the stairs.
Yeah, that's the right move.
Yeah.
Just take a header right out the door.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Out of that weird door, hell yeah.
Just end up how you end up.
Exactly. Sleep how I sleep.
You just got to watch for the food on the one landing.
Oh, you mean the cat puke?
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Fucking cat.
Yeah, just yaks on you because at this point you just become part of the furniture.
Bro. I'm not a fan of the cat puke.
Yeah. No, me neither.
It's like a daily event.
Yeah.
Really annoying. Anywho, how's Brian? I'm all over the place.
I'm pretty good. Just pretty boring week otherwise. I mean, it's starting to, go out a little bit occasionally again, which is nice because, sitting at home for weeks is kind of annoying.
Yeah, for sure. That was the one luxury I had during COVID was I was considered an essential employee, which I think is crazy.
Yeah. Right.
So, I was never really stuck at home.
Right.
So, yeah, but I couldn't imagine just being like, well, I'm in here. And like the 2 weeks you were or the multiple weeks you were quarantining yourself, we had some nice weather too.
Yeah, you really did.
I couldn't, it'd be like being in Biodome or something. I couldn't imagine.
I mean, I'd step out on the porch for a little bit, but then I had to go back in or whatever because it was just, I didn't want to stand outside and maybe get chilled, when it was starting to cool off or whatever. So I had to be careful of that, and it was. I felt like like, oh, I'm gonna go outside. Well, you better take your shawl.
This is why we need to get you into like Gandalf pipe smoking, so you can just have this 6-foot long pipe and just sit on your porch a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like sitting on my neighbor's porch.
Yeah.
I'm on my porch. Yeah.
Perfect.
Like, could you please stop resting your pipe on our porch? Nope.
Cast a spell on him.
Yep. Spell is shutting the hell up.
Shut the hell up. A spell of arson.
Like, sir, that's not really a spell when you just pour gas in through a match.
It's like, I cast fireball, you throw a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah. I don't think that counts as casting a spell, sir.
It does. I'm LARPing.
Yeah. Yep.
I cast magic missile, pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
Ah!
Ah.
Oh, man.
Yep.
I had way too much salad tonight.
All right.
Breaking news. You can have too much salad.
Well, yeah, of course.
Man. Dude, I am so full of lettuce. So I told you, like, after work, I didn't even go straight home. I was doing running.
Yeah.
And then I had to, come home, throw together dinner real quick. And I was just like, we had the godsend that is Aldi red bag chicken.
Yeah.
Throw that shit in the air fryer, and we had all the salad fixes. I'm like, yep, chicken salad. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Had a big ass bowl of it. And then I looked at my watch, and I'm like, oh, we're recording soon. I'm still hungry, but I wasn't, Brian. I wasn't hungry. But I had a second big ass bowl of salad. And then as soon as I finished that bowl, I was like, oh God, I regret life and
Yeah.
all that is holy.
Why did I eat all of the salad?
So good though.
Mm,
I mean, sometimes salad just hits.
I know.
I don't know what that. It's just chopped up veggies. What is that?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I've always been that way. Too. My dad was like that too. Like he very much would go out of his way to get salad. Like wherever we were gonna eat, he'd a lot of times he'd want a salad there, whether it was a restaurant or even fast food. A lot of times, like even if we went to like Burger King, he'd get a salad and a sandwich, kind of a thing,
Right.
So, I'm kind of the same way to where a lot of places, if they have a salad as an option, I'll be like, "Ooh, give me a salad,"
Oh, for sure. I like a
Yep.
salad.
Yeah.
You remember when McDonald's, and maybe they still do it, put their salads in those like bubble things, and you're supposed to just like pour the dressing and shake the shit out of it?
Yeah. I don't think McDonald's has salads at all anymore. Like they got rid of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I know Burger King, I think, still does. Wendy's does. Arby's did, but I think they got rid of theirs. Yeah. So
I wonder why.
Americans are not interested in eating healthy, Tony. That's why there's no grilled chicken on any of these menus either.
Well, didn't they say the salads had more calories in them than the burgers? Because all
I think
the
so,
shit you put on them?
Yeah, because by the time you put like the cheese, the croutons, the salad dressing,
The Coca-Cola,
Coca-Cola,
Pop Rocks,
Pop Rocks, yeah,
Airheads,
14th pack of dressing,
Beskar teeth,
Beskar teeth, yeah. A Big Mac,
Big Mac.
yeah.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie, like Big Mac fixins chopped up and thrown on top of a salad. Big Mac salad kind of sounds legit.
I can see how that would work, especially because the sauce is basically like Thousand Island.
Yeah.
So
Toast the bun, make croutons. Come on now.
Yeah, you really could.
Come on now.
Well, I saw. I don't think I don't know if I sent it to you or not. There was a dude that took. I saw a video. He took like I think it was a quarter pounder, and he turned it into like a high end dish, like he's a chef, and took it, and I think he threw the bun away because he's like, there's literally nothing you can do with that. But then he took the onions and made like a bacon jam or something like that, and I can't remember what else he did, but he did all this stuff. He used the fries to make like a potato puree and all this, and by the time he was done, I'm like, that looks fucking delicious, but it was mostly from a quarter pounder.
And it's bare bones. It's a quarter pounder.
Yeah, it was kind of cool though to see a chef take something like that and go, here's what you can do even with inferior ingredients.
Interesting.
Kind of yeah. It's kind of why I like watching that fast foodies show that's it's on Food Network now. It was on TBS before, or TNT, I don't remember. But it's on Food Network's been showing it now too. And I love that show because that first round they're, like, hey, we have to replicate a Wendy's chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich. So they make it as close as possible. Round two, they are just trying to give you the notes of the sandwich. Because Ron Funches actually was the one that did the spicy chicken sandwich.
A whiff of the sandwich.
Basically, what they do is they go, okay, here's the, like, you want spice because there's the spice of that. You want something, the crunch of the chicken, the sourness of the pickle or whatever,
Yeah.
And they try to take those notes and they make a fine dining dish with all of that. And it's crazy when you look at some of what they make. And you just see these celebrities eating there and there's like, oh my God, like, I don't know how, but you made a salmon dish that reminds me of a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich or something, and
that is interesting. I've never watched the show, but that is interesting.
It's a great show. It's really fun to watch because the second round's more interesting, but it is also interesting watching them try to replicate the first round because sometimes there's certain things about some of the fast food stuff that they try to replicate because it's important. Like the spicy chicken sandwich one of the guys' sandwiches, I think he was like, this is really good, but it's better than Wendy's. It's too good, basically.
Right.
And he's like, you're missing the like squishiness of it, kind of a thing. And one of the other guys went out of his way to try to give it that squishiness. And when Ron bites into it, he's like, yeah, he's basically like, this is it.
The squishiness.
Yep.
Oh God, I never want to have a sandwich and be like, You notice this isn't squishy enough, guys.
Yeah, well, it comes down to the textures of, because it's a fast food sandwich.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that, like if you were making a fried chicken sandwich at home, you're going to get that chicken really crispy. The bread's going to be nice and toasty, but not, you're going to have like the highest levels. But in fast food, those buns get, especially once you wrap them up, they start to steam and soften and all that kind of stuff. So when you bite into it, things are a little softer than they would be if you made it all right now, fresh.
All right. So here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we live in Toledo, obviously. Well, you don't, but you're close enough.
Close enough.
The home of Marco's Pizza, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Marco's, for those who don't know, and maybe you don't know either, Brian, but I'm sure you do. Downtown, there's an Italian restaurant called Astoria. And
yeah,
it's owned by Marco's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like high-end Marco's.
Okay.
So, do you think, say, Wendy's could open up like a high-end Wendy's?
I think any fast food place probably could. The place that would work the best, I think, would be Arby's. Because you could do legit versions of their food, like real roast beef sandwiches.
See, that's what I was getting at. Because like with high end Marco's, yeah, sure, I'm sure they have flatbreads and pizzas, but it's mostly like pasta and shit there.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So, but if you're gonna do high end Wendy's, you're just making a better burger, and you can get that at any like gastropub brewery.
Yeah.
So how do you elevate that? Right.
They can elevate their chili. You could do cool stuff with the Frosties,
right?
But again, you're right. It just becomes any.
It's like upscale bar food.
Yeah,
but you are correct. Of Arby's, though, like they could actually roast beef and not what I'm assuming is iguana. I don't really know. And like, or carve it table side and make your sandwich or whatever.
Yeah. That's what I mean is you really could have that when you're eating it, you're like, this is legit, just came out of like the oven roast beef or whatever. Not like you said, just loaf iguana that they
Although I can't picture high-end Arby's because all I'm picturing is the old school giant hat logo. And I just have, unless it's a giant top hat.
See, I would bring that would be funny. I would bring that hat back and use that because the throwback would be the trendy part of it.
I see.
That kind of thing. Because you could make higher end sauces to go with the stuff, and
would you just call it like bees?
I don't know what I would call it, but it ended up being like like Arby's on the Glen or something like that.
Arby's on the Glen. Like fancy Montana. No, that doesn't work.
Right. No, they
beef
just
and glam.
Beef and cheddar.
Beef and cheddar, dude. Yeah, I'm really trying to like rack my brain here. And I really, you might be right. The only like fast food restaurant that could possibly elevate and get fancy was probably Arby's.
And part of that's because Arby's has a variety of meat that they sell.
Yeah.
Like they have chicken and roast beef and barbecue and all that. So if you had those kind of things, you could really have some like fine eating. Like it just still end up being basically like a barbecue place, but you can elevate some of the other stuff like the sauces and different. They do try to do higher end stuff at Arby's. Like they really do for fast food.
Didn't they have like a Wagyu burger or something for a while there?
Yeah. And you could do a legit one instead of it being a blend of Wagyu and iguana. Yeah. I just assume they just color it different for everything they make. Chickens, iguana, everything.
They call it Wagwana.
Yeah. The turnovers are iguana.
Actually, that sounds like a stripper. Coming up next to the stage, Wagwana. Get your dollars ready, boys. Yeah.
It'd be
like
interesting.
Little Caesars? Nah.
No, because I mean the whole draw to Little Caesars is the hot and ready concept mostly, even though they have other options. But it's like, let's be honest, or the extra most bestest. As since I'm a fancy gentleman, I get the extra most bestest.
You are fancy.
Yeah, I paid that extra $1 for more pepperoni.
Well, maybe Long John Silver's open up a nice fish place. Call it like, I don't know. What was that cat food? Captain's Feast or whatever?
I think you just you kind of just leave it alone and you just go with
LJS.
Yes, that's what you do. You just call it LJS. You're right.
And it's like black of white.
Right. But for sure they still have those pirate hats available.
Oh, absolutely. But the real pirate hats.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, real tri-tips.
$60 on a dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Getting an appetizer of 3 hush puppies, it costs $15.
But they're probably legit hush puppies.
For sure, right?
Although, in fairness, that is my favorite thing at that place.
I agree.
We actually just had that yesterday because my mom was fiending. So, as she does. And I was just like, man, when they're done right, sometimes they undercook them and they're not great.
Yeah, I feel like when they're undercooked, they just become like grease balls.
Yeah. And the ones we got yesterday were pretty strong. And I housed too many of them because they tasted really good.
Never is too many. Well, side note, you remember Dalsum from Street Fighter?
Yeah.
His necklace looked like it was made of hush puppies.
It was.
That explains everything. Why is he so thin? I don't get it. He had hush puppies right there.
He worked out a lot. I mean, dude, you saw how much his hands move?
That's true.
Remember how many calories it burns?
That's true.
Or stretching your body like that, that's got to be tough.
I love how the yoga fighter was from India. Way to go, Capcom.
Yeah, they didn't really do much. Well, why not? I mean, the E Honda was pretty stereotypical as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the American dude, fuck yeah, if his red, white, and blue goddamn tattoo and his flat top. Guile. Come on now.
Guile. Yeah, okay. I couldn't think of his name. I was like, why am I blanking?
Come on, he was your dude. That was your fighter of choice.
He was. I know. That's why I was like, because I couldn't think of it.
You should have Sonic Boom as a tramp stamp. How much you used Guile.
Who says I don't?
What?
That is kind of a funny place for a Sonic Boom tattoo, though.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I was picturing like the animation, like him throwing it. That'd be pretty cool.
I thought just the words. I was like, it's kind of funny right above your ass,
I like it.
It's like more like a warning at that point. Like, stay clear, Sonic Boom.
What if, all right, Brian, what if we got like tattoos and you had Guile throwing a Sonic Boom, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I had, say, Ken facing the other direction throwing a Hadouken. And then, like, at our arm was when the projectiles meet and cancel each other out. So we just put them together like best friends.
That's a great... That's a great idea. Let's get right on that.
All right, sir. Let's get a hold of Tony Two Touch. He's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta get on the awful tattoos or whatever Instagram and
no, you meant to say legendary.
Yeah. Oh man, one of my favorite subreddits has become. Have you been on? Oh, I can't think of how it's like I can't think of it exactly, but it's like great idea, terrible terrible idea, excellent execution, or something to that effect.
This sounds like right up my alley.
To where someone has a horrible idea for a tattoo, but it turns out like the art is phenomenal, but the idea is just garbage.
Terrible idea, amazing execution.
That sounds right. It's something
terrible idea, great execution. Thank you, Google.
The one I follow is r/ETBGE.
Yeah, awful taste but great execution.
Yeah, that's the one that I started following. Yeah, and there's some really weird shit on there.
Yeah, let me scroll the one that's safe for work so I can put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah,
I've noticed.
One of my favorites that I'm looking at right now is it looks like the ass end of a dog, and when you squeeze it, it looks like it shits because it's a pastry. It's got chocolate in it. why I said some of these are fantastic, but it was like, why would you want that tattoo, or why would you want, whatever it is?
I'm still looking for a good one that's I can show off. Oh, here you go.
The Crown Royal.
This couch for sale. It's a couch made out of jeans.
Yes, there you go.
Enjoy it, everybody.
Have you seen that picture that was going around where it said like it's like an office chair, and it says like lightly sharded office chair or something like
no.
That. Like, and it for sure looks like someone had a real problem on the chair.
They were having their freaking what do we call it? Butter muesli party.
Visitor. Oh yeah. The other day I saw a recipe for something called cowboy butter, and all I could think of was duck butter. And I was like, yeah, cowboy butter just doesn't sound like something that should be a food.
No.
It sounds like some weird sex thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like when a cowboy's out keeping track of their steers out on the field, and they just like nutting at her boot or something.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I'll save that cowboy butter for later.
Oh man, you didn't scroll down far enough. Unfortunately, a little bit further down in there is a corn dog helmet. It's like a motorcycle helmet.
Oh, slow down. Oh yeah, let me pull that back up. Boom, baby.
I don't know how the hell, you know how it is when you're on Reddit and it'll be like, because you like this, and I follow like what is it, mildly interesting.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Been on those where have you seen the one where it's like not at all interesting and it's like, here's a bowl of milk?
I haven't seen that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, they're so dumb, but yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure this corn dog helmet, if you got in a wreck, would just rip your head off.
Oh, it'd probably kill you.
Unless that stick is like made to break away or something.
I sure hope so.
I mean, it's hilarious, but boy, what a terrible way to die.
Right. Here's a good one too. It's an anal plug that's got like a baby alligator head on the other end of it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's a fun subreddit, Brian.
I for sure recommend. Again, as Tony said, be warned. There's plenty of not safe for work stuff, but most of it is in just the weirdest way.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you're just like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Like this tattoo of a baby duck holding a dildo. I don't know why I wouldn't get that tattooed on them, but they did.
Or this one here, it's a tattoo of. Do you remember Cat Dog from Nickelodeon?
Do remember Cat Dog.
Well, this one, it's Cat Dog, but it's got the body is of the cartoon animal, but the head, one head is Cat Williams, the other one's Snoop Dogg.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, right.
Anywho, let me scroll back up to the top here so I can subscribe to this, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, for sure. Got to subscribe.
Absolutely.
To it. It's something.
It is definitely something. Big fan.
Yep. Yeah, me too.
Yes, we will join that.
I forgot. I actually meant to send that to you. I started following about a week or two ago. I meant to send it to you. I forgot. So I'm actually glad we've come back around.
I got to do the thing that I always do. What is the top post of all time in this subreddit?
Oh, I didn't do that.
Oh, it's my sister got this from my colorblind brother. Pretty sure it says penis.
Probably.
Pretty sure it says penis, but I'm not colorblind. Or am I?
Aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. All right. Fun stuff right there.
Yep. And I just realized I've been taking no notes for this episode.
You'll be all right. Notes are overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? Do you still have that subreddit?
It's r/ATBGE.
Thank you.
Yes.
That way I can make sure I put that in the show notes. Also, if you scroll far enough down, someone did upholstery inside their car with jeans also.
Oh, nice.
There's the one that actually started. The first one I saw is this one here. And it is basically like the wolf from Red Riding Hood.
Right.
But it's got the hood on and it's a naked lady body, but she's still got various wolf fur or whatever. The artwork is incredible. The actual
the subject matter
idea, yeah, it's like, what the fuck, you know?
Well, you're not into yiffin, bro?
No, man, that's an old episode.
Right.
Talked about that. I did pull a few stories from the whatever you call them, though.
The what?
The Not the Onion and that.
Is it about bloodshed?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, you kind of hinted at the first one here.
Excellent. You know what we did watch yesterday while we were in the process of healing, Brian?
What's that?
Office Space still holds up.
Nice. I haven't watched that in a long time.
Yeah, I know. I was scrolling through movies. I was like, oh shit, and yeah, still holds up nicely. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of dated references in it, but
yeah, of course,
still,
yeah. Because I've been trying to finish up season 3 of Animaniacs, and then I'm gonna move on to. I was trying to figure out what I was gonna watch next, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to catch up on It's Always Sunny.
Good luck.
Because Charlie Day was on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, and just talking about the show and everything, and I was like, because it was really interesting. He talked about kind of the origin of the show. It was very interesting how they had episodes that they were posting on like YouTube basically or whatever, and they were getting traction. Mm-hmm. They got an offer from a couple networks, one of which being FX, but FX basically gave them the initial, was it 7 episodes or whatever, and we're basically like, you've got to get a big star attached to this or we're basically canceling the show. And thank goodness for them, Danny DeVito had seen it, and when they reached out to him, he was very interested in being part of it. So that allowed the show to continue, and here we are 16 seasons
later.
Crazy,
isn't it?
Yeah, that it's now it passed Ozzie and Harriet for the most seasons of a show, but they are only doing like 8 episodes a year. They're not doing like Ozzie and Harriet used to do probably 30 or 50 episodes a year.
Yeah.
So they have way more episodes. But yeah, it was fun listening to that. So I was kind of like, yeah, I need to go back and I don't remember where I stopped. I'm hoping I can find it. I can't remember which streaming service I was using, because for a while it was on, I think, Hulu and Netflix.
Yes.
And I can't remember which one I was watching.
Just do what I did. Start from season 1.
I don't want to start from season 1, because then I got to watch the blackface episode.
No, they actually removed that from Hulu.
Oh, yeah. Did they? Okay. They should, because it's, yeah. That's why I want to listen to their podcast where Charlie, Robin, I can't think of the other guy's name now. Shit. Anyway, the 3 male stars not named Danny DeVito. They have a podcast where they're reviewing the episode.
Oh, nice.
And I think that would be really fun to listen to them, especially as they hit some of the episodes like that one, where it's like, yeah, we maybe we shouldn't have done that
at the time.
Because even listening to the Fake Doctors Real Friends with Scrubs, they'll go over once in a while. They'll be like, yeah, that joke wouldn't so much play now.
I mean, you'll have that when you watch older stuff. That's right. That was Office Space. There's a couple jokes that I'm like, oof, could not get away with that these days. Yeah.
Right. It would for sure have to be a different
It
joke.
also made me want to have a neighbor like Lawrence. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Check out Channel 9, dude. Fucking Lawrence.
Fucking A.
Yeah, fucking A. What would you do if you had $1 million? 2 chicks at once. I work with a lot of those guys. A lot of Lawrences I work with.
Diedrich Bader was great. Yeah.
Hell no. Shit no, man. That gets your ass kicked.
It's funny though, like I don't really watch anything else, because I go in and I watch like I said, I watch Futurama and then Bob's Burgers usually, and then I watch if there's wrestling to be watched, that's, I got to catch up on that first. Then I usually will jump into something else unless I'm getting tired. Or like last night, I forgot that now they have access to Hulu with TV. When I go to watch Raw, I forget that I think the way it shows in there is like it shows the whole episode. I'm used to watching the day after episode on Hulu, which is an hour and a half, not 3 hours.
You're used to watching like the Mega Mix or whatever, huh?
Yeah. So like last night I'm watching, I'm like, man, this seems like a long episode. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, you know what? Like I was watching.
Holy shit, it's Wednesday.
Yeah. Like I was like, shit, that explains it. And I like watching it the other way because they cut out a lot of those matches that are just filler.
Yeah.
So, or something's not real important to the storylines, they kind of just sweep it under the rug a little bit. So I've kind of gotten spoiled. It's almost like having the ability to watch it with like DVR, which I could. I don't even think about that because when you had the live TV version, you literally basically have a DVR version of
son.
it. So I could just scrub through.
All right, future man.
Non-important matches,
Sounds nice, actually.
Yeah. Future man.
Man.
What a terrible show. Or if you ever watched it, remember me talking about that on Hulu?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Somehow got 3 seasons, I think.
Because the world is dumb, Brian. The world is dumb.
We wonder why so many of these companies are like, streaming doesn't make any money. It's like, yeah, we'll quit making shitty
stop
shows.
making garbage.
Yeah. Also, maybe don't make 1.5 million shows.
Just
maybe
enough.
Roll that back a little bit.
Would be nice.
So people can actually maybe watch everything.
Yeah, because the amount of content we're kind of at the point now where we're caught up on a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, I need noise because Brian, I'm sure you understand. I can't have a moment of silence for my thoughts to get there.
Right?
What are you kidding me?
Yeah, not
so
at all.
when I'm scrolling through all my I almost said socials, streaming services, and it's like there's so much content, so much. I always end up watching something I've already watched. Like, oh hell yeah, IT Crowd or whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's funny when I do that where I'll go back. Well, I've talked about where I've gone back and watched like Golden Girls again, or I'll watch whatever it is. And afterwards, it's like I have this like feeling of guilt because on one hand, I know 100% going in is something I enjoy, right? Like 0 chance for a miss here. Whereas some other shows, you know how it is, like you can get many episodes in and then the show just goes in the trash and you're like, I just wasted all this time basically. So when you're walking into a new show, I mean, granted, it's less likely when it's everybody and their mother is like, hey, you need to watch this. Usually, it's a pretty good chance it'll hit, but you never know.
Detroiters.
Like I want to watch, like I want to watch this Succession.
Oh yeah, for good things.
Fantastic. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. And at this point, all I got to do basically is try to avoid spoilers because they're in the final season.
You know what I found myself watching, and I never thought I would watch something like this?
Nightline.
Yeah, it's crazy. As soon as I turned 44.
Yeah. Sense.
No, it's so weird. So when we started playing Vampire, right?
Yeah.
I've never played it before. I've obviously never run it before.
Right.
God, I'm like, there's got to be examples of play online. So Geek and Sundry put out a series of, Vampire the Masquerade, LA at Night. And I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm like, I read a like synopsis. The guy who's running the game like worked for not White Wolf, the company that bought him, whatever. But he works for the company. I'm like, this is the dude to watch because he knows what the fuck he's doing. Yeah. And I'm in season 2 now. Like, I never thought I would be watching people play a role-playing game, but I know Critical Role is obviously huge.
Right.
Actually, side note, I was watching a video about D&D, and he was talking, because I guess Critical Role, what's his name, Matt Mercer, I think, the DM, he's coming out with his own gaming system at the time where D&D is still kind of rocked by all that shit they did.
Right. Yeah, right.
And he was talking about how this is really dangerous for Dungeons and Dragons because of how popular Critical Role is. Do you know how much, Brian, a 2-minute ad on Critical Role would cost, like, say, the Salty Language podcast?
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot, though.
Just throw a number out there.
$2 million.
Okay, that's way too high.
I really
$65,000.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that insane? So that tells you how many people watch that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I never thought I would find myself watching a role-playing game being played. But it's,
Right.
you know, the story's well done. The people playing the characters, I'm assuming, are actors. Yeah, everything's very well done and just sucks you in. Like, I was watching it for information, and now I'm like, oh, what's going to happen to Jasper? You know? It's so weird. Oh, God, shut up, Siri.
Tony's like, oh, God, he's, you know, like, oh, I got to watch my story.
Basically, that's what it feels like, dude. Honestly. Yeah. Like, I'll be, like, doing dishes. I'm like, oh, I might as well throw on some vampire.
Let's see what Jasper's up to. Yeah.
Jasper the Nosferatu's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never thought I'd find myself in that position, but boy, did I get sucked into it.
Yeah. I can understand that because it really is, you know, especially with our generation being the before Twitch generation. Like, we didn't grow up on YouTube, you know, like that shit didn't exist.
Right.
Because if there was a site that had videos, it would have taken 6 years to play a video, you know, because the internet was so
That's
slow.
true. I mean, I remember waiting for, you know, nudies to download one line at a time.
Yeah. Hell, GIFs would have taken an hour and a half to watch, you know.
To be 13 again, waiting for those Deanna Troy nudes to come through.
Yeah. So I think, you know, it's interesting because we're so, like, that's so stupid. Why would you blah, blah, blah? But I think back to, like, Collector's World, and when I was working there a lot of times when D&D was going on, and I was listening to whoever was playing, and there were times where, you know, it was entertaining to just watch people play.
Yeah, because I mean, there is a story happening.
Yeah. Right. And so you do follow the story, the characters. Sometimes the shit that people choose to do is hilarious or goes hilariously bad, you know, when they crit fail or something. And the DM does something good with that.
Legitimately, that's half the fun, in my opinion, of playing tabletop role-playing games like that, is the nonsense. You know?
Right. Yeah, so I can understand it to where, especially if it's got some slick production on top of it. I mean,
the production's not really that slick. It's just people, and like the very first episode I watched, I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers. Like one dude had fangs on and contacts in, and I'm like, oh, geez, am I really gonna watch this? But then I started listening to the guys like start spin the tail, and I'm like, well, this guy's good. And like I said, dude, I just got sucked into it.
Right.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Because I've actually, off and on, I'll find myself. One of the things that annoys the shit out of me, you know, because we've talked about this before. Like, Tony, I'm an old man, and I still prefer when I'm looking up something for a game. I still prefer someone like wrote what to do rather than show me a video. So in the wrestling match game that I play, you have different builds for the characters, and a lot of times you can use different move sets. And if you get, you know, on some of them, they have, you know, kind of like a combo that they'll run. And so when you get a new character, a lot of times, you know, you jump on the internet, you type in the character's name, and you're like, you know, build, basically. And nobody really posts like, hey, use this move set or this move set. Most of the time, it's here's a video of me playing with these move sets, and you have to like scrub through to find the move sets. And I'm like, this is annoying as shit to me. I really wish it was just in text form so that I could just, because I've got my phone there and I've got the character built, you know, it's like, I just want to build the character.
Right.
I don't want to watch you play the character. Although, don't get me wrong, there are some times where it does help because they'll be like, you know, the move will destroy 5 gems. And they're like, most of the time you only want to destroy like 3 or enough to fill this other meter. you don't want to go 5 because that might do a pinfall and then it'll be your opponent's turn. Whereas if you do it the other way, you can kind of cycle through all your moves and do a bunch of damage, you know. So those strategies are, you know, that's where it's beneficial.
Right.
But otherwise, I'm just like, can you just show me the damn movesets?
I get
you
it.
know, like I don't want to watch a 20-minute video.
I'm one of those hybrid dudes now where I prefer, if I'm playing, like, say, Cyberpunk, I'm like, as soon as I started playing the game, I was like, there's got to be a way to glitch this shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let
so.
me, and I at first I look for the text and I read it, and then I'm like, okay, and then I watch a video of someone doing it, so I'll be like, oh, now it makes sense. So I kind of do both.
There's been games where, like, I don't know if you remember, I talked about it, I think, on here, where I was playing like the was it the Lego Super Villains or whatever it's called, Lego Villains, the DC Villains one, and there was some quest I was trying to do, and I absolutely could not find, like, I read the text of it, it's like, go here, do this, do. I could not find it. So it's like, okay, pull up a video and watch someone do it, and then I'm like, oh, it's there, you know, like I didn't go far enough or something. There was some, you know, and it was like the instructions were good, but it was still so hidden that you almost had to watch the video to see.
Right.
You just went in the area, you just look around and not find what you're looking for. You had to, like, I think you had to go up or something like that, and then it was behind something. So it was really well hidden, and it was like, oh, okay, that's why I can't find it. Because I spent like 20 minutes dicking around myself, you know, because it's like, I just want enough, like, get me in the area and then I'll find it. And yeah, I couldn't. So
I mean, a video of me, like, I can't remember what it was. Might have been Saints Row or something. But me trying to show you how to do something.
Yeah. It was
Saints Row is legitimately on my personal YouTube channel. I only have a few uploads. It's the one of the way over the top hits.
And
because
I will
obviously
say,
other people were trying to figure that shit out too.
If you had sent me a do this like text thing, it wouldn't have been as efficient for sure.
Right.
I 100% know. Like when you showed me in the video, I was like, oh, and it's like what, like a 2-minute video or something like that.
2-minute video or something, right?
Yeah, you know. And I was like, oh, boom, boom, done. And it was that fast, and it was.
I think it's so funny because way back when that happened, I couldn't text you that video.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I can upload to YouTube and I can send you the link.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Now you could just.
I could just text you the video, yeah.
But, you know, by putting it on YouTube, you helped out a bunch of other people, too.
Yeah, I mean,
because it was a very common problem.
Apparently. Because, like I said, I got a decent amount of views on it.
Yep. And when people searched for the solution to it, you know.
I mean, I think I brought it up on the show, but, like, 6 months ago, I was just like, why do I have notifications on my YouTube? And I looked, and it was a dude from however many years ago that was. I was like, oh, thanks, man. I've been waiting. You know, I've been trying to fix this. So I was just like, no problem, buddy. You know, and I just got an LOL back.
Right.
Because it was years later.
Well, it was too. Because if I remember correctly, there was a DLC or something that came out, or there was a patch or something to that effect, and it would not recognize saved files.
Yeah.
Like you like when it would load, it wouldn't recognize like I don't remember if it was your progress or your your stuff, something like that.
I don't want to go back and watch the video. Yeah. I don't remember.
And it was a real problem because it kind of stopped your game. So and it was an easy fix that you had to just remove your character, install the shit, then reinstall your character. Basically, I think is how it worked or something. And then it worked fine. It was that fast. It was literally put it on a card. Remove the card, download the other thing, put the card back in, and it would pretty much recognize it.
Yeah, copy the guy back in, you're good.
Yeah, it was like a super easy fix, but it was just, heartbreaking at the time because it was like, oh no, I've put all this time into it.
The leader of the Saints. Shit.
No. Am I going to have to start over?
I kind of want to go back and play Saints Row 3. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't played the newest one. The reviews were on it. So
reviews are pretty harsh. Yeah.
I think a lot of it though, I don't know. I think I'm getting to where I don't take reviews of video games Well, not just video games, pretty much anything in the nerd realm or geek realm, because there's so much review bombing.
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple YouTube channels.
Yeah.
That I like their video game content, and they do review stuff from time to time, and I kind of like their thoughts vibe with my thoughts on a lot of stuff. So
I figure at some point that game will be real cheap, and I'll grab it then, like $5 or something like that.
Like if I ever log on to PlayStation Plus, it's like new game, Saints Row, to whatever it is. I'm like, for free, I'll for sure play it, but I'm not paying $70.
No, God, no. It was like, man, I felt so bad for that. Did you see that Redfall game that just came out? That like first-person vampire shooter. Boy, did that look like a shit.
Oh my god, it looked horrifying.
The reviews.
Have you seen clips from the game?
Yeah,
does not look good.
No, when I heard about the game, I'm like, oh, that could be fun, And then as it, after the release and stuff, and they were just like, yeah, don't.
That's a Bethesda joint too.
Yeah,
they should be releasing done games, not half-baked games.
It sounds a lot like it was a real half-assed game. Like almost like, you know what it reminds you of is like when sometimes something will be like halfway through production and then basically the funding gets cut.
Yeah.
But the studio's still like, we're putting this out. And it's like, well, we don't have anyone to code or do all the work. And it's like, oh well.
Well, put it out regardless.
Yeah. And it's just gotten destroyed.
I mean, I saw a couple clips, and there was like a dude shooting a vampire, and the vampire was like this.
Yeah.
And it never animated. It was just like a still picture moving around. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's so bad. And I've heard the storyline in it is just terrible, that it's just not very good. Just nothing about the game is very good. Which is, like I said, was a little disappointing because the initial hope I had for it was that it might be kind of like Borderlands. Yeah. With vampires, and it might be kind of fun for like us to grab and dick around with. And then as I've read about it, I'm like, nope, like not even dirt cheap.
Hard pass.
Not unless they do some significant patches, which I can't imagine they're going to do.
Right now.
Because at this point, I assume they're just going to write it as a big loss.
To be fair, Cyberpunk was hot garbage, and now it's pretty good.
But from they were ahead of that, saying that they were going to be putting out big patches and stuff for it though too. And this one I haven't heard anything. So
I just wish these big game companies, like if it's a small independent game and it comes out and it doesn't quite work, but they're like, we're going to patch it. We got
hey, we only got 5 people working on
this. We're working on this, but we wanted to put the game out.
Right. Like if there's a glitch in Stardew Valley, I get it because it's just one dude working on it basically,
But if it's from a massive game company like Bethesda, get your head out of your ass.
Right.
Just at least put the game out at 90%, although it should be 100.
Should be 100, yeah.
Not whatever you're releasing. It's just crazy to me.
And that's the thing with this is it's like I said, I think it had potential. Like it kind of was in a market that there really aren't a lot of like vampire games out there. No. Especially not the hunting vampire thing as a group. So I said I thought it could be kind of fun because there's so many zombie hunting games.
I'm so over the zombie trope.
Yeah, but the vampire one, you could take it and at least spin it a little differently. You could come up with like, oh god, what was that game where you used to be able to like tape 2 weapons together and make another weapon?
Dead Rising.
Yes, which was a blast when you would put like a chainsaw and something else together, and it would make like a chainsaw gun or something.
Like 2 chainsaws on a fucking canoe paddle, and then you're like dual wielding. Like Darth Maul.
That was blast. Do something more like that with vampires or something, where you come up with creative like stakes and broken wood and different stuff.
Ribeye steak, I prefer.
Delicious.
Only if it's from iguana though. Center cut iguana.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes me sad. But I mean, honestly, I think the days of me buying brand new games are just over.
Yeah, I rarely do. Although, in fairness, I will.
Like, I was like, wait a minute, Mr. Pre-order.
Yeah, well, I'm getting Zelda coming out here, and
fucking then, Pablo pre-order.
Yeah, well, most of the time I wait because the games will come down in price. Zelda's not coming down in price anytime soon.
I'm gonna give you some shit right now.
That's fair.
Because you wait, but then you just let it sit and gather dust on your shelf.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is like with games like that and Diablo, I'll play.
Yeah, I know you'll play Diablo.
So
that
and
doesn't belong on I finally played it because you're gonna play it right off the rip.
I'll play that right off the rip for sure. In fact, I believe this weekend is the last beta or whatever you call it, open whatnot for Diablo. Like I think this weekend they're doing another one.
I might play a little bit then.
So if anybody out there hasn't given it a try, you don't have to have pre-ordered. From what I read, it's an open deal. So, but because the game comes out next month. Yeah, next month because it comes out June 6th. Because 6/6/23.
Wait, what? That's not evil.
Well, it is now. You didn't know? 2 times 3. What's that make?
Oh shit! The devil's here.
That's right. You just got to do a little extra math for.
Yeah, you got to do devil math.
Yeah. He's like, look, I tried. All right.
I couldn't wait till the year 2066. All right. Yeah. I need these fucking profits.
That's when Diablo 5 will come out.
Yeah. I mean, that's accurate.
That's accurate with the way they release games.
That's an accurate timeline.
Yeah, this one's actually pretty fast.
Still will be released before Half-Life 3.
Yeah. Any day now. Any day that's coming out. The day after both of us die, that's when it'll come out.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll die in a fiery wreck somewhere or jumping off into a canyon Thelma and Louise. And then the next day...
With our tattoos matched up on over the armrest.
Of course.
Two wrinkled fireballs canceling each other out.
Then the very next day, like in surprising news.
Yeah. You guys remember Gordon Freeman? He's finally back.
Yeah. We're sitting in hell, like, damn it.
Son of a bitch.
Go up to the devil, like, do we get Half-Life 9? I'm like, dude, it's any day now. It's coming out.
Like I've had to pre-order for millennia.
Even the devil, that's part of his hell, is Half-Life 3 doesn't come down there.
Now, does the devil play like heaven?
Yeah.
Because he lives Diablo.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to have something a little
different.
He's
playing Farm Simulator. He's really good.
Power Wash Simulator. Yeah.
Dude, Lawnmower Simulator, I tried playing it.
Yeah.
Not as satisfying as I was hoping.
Some people in a Twitter group were seriously talking about Power Wash Simulator earlier.
Yeah, Leah told me that Leah told me it was pretty satisfying.
I can't get over it. Just blows my mind of all those simulator games because most of them are just like there's nothing about most of them that makes me go, ooh, I want to try this. Like, aside from like Goat Simulator, of course.
Hilarious.
That's fantastic. But
there is a bee simulator that's out.
Is there? I assume you can sting people.
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, if not, what's the point of playing, right?
I know, All the Beers Pod. Check it out.
I mean, I guess it depends on the kind of, like, if you sting somebody, do you die immediately? That would suck. Maybe that'd be your deterrent.
But you respawn as another bee, I would assume.
Maybe. What if you don't, though? What if that's it? The game just bricks after that.
Yeah. It just bricks your whole system.
That's it. Just one life.
Your just house lights on fire, everyone dies.
Yeah.
Man, this bee simulator is crazy. It's like The Ring, but a game.
Yeah. Like, man, I'm about to fire up that bee simulator. No.
Don't do it.
Do it. My buddy's house burned down yesterday from it.
Cheeto, yes, you do.
All right.
Says he has to real life power wash his house and cut his grass.
Hey, he can come up here and power wash my house if you'd like. Also,
on the training level of Lawnmower Simulator, I was just doing donuts in the yard on a riding mower and smoking cars, and like I was hoping I could do damage. I don't know. I was trying to do anything silly.
Yeah, but
the game just kept yelling at me, going, "You're cutting at the wrong height."
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm doing donuts.
First of all,
I hit that parked car 80 times.
How hilarious is it that there's a training level on
I know,
game?
Right?
You think they would just throw you in and you'd figure it out,
right?
Because that's what you would do in real life. So, speaking of,
just to let you know, my company I made in Lawn Mowing Simulator, Bush Blasters.
I like it.
Yeah.
Across the street from me, remember, I don't know if, was it you I was with that I was like, wow, their grass is really squirrely?
Yes.
Okay.
Full squirrels. Speaking
yesterday,
of squirrel, this black squirrel's delicious.
Yesterday, they pull out the lawnmower to get after it.
Could they find it in the jungle?
Dude, I felt so bad for this guy watching him cut the grass because I'm like, this is not a man who's cut tall grass much. Because as a person who's cut a lot of tall grass, because my brother's yard and over on Daytona, my yard, I don't know if you remember how thick that grass used to get.
Yeah.
Good God.
You needed a combine for that shit.
Yeah, and you're doing all the tricks like like raising your mower up and then gently setting it down, pull it back, then go over the grass because you need to kind of take a top or or you'd have to set the mower really high, cut the grass once, then drop it down, cut it again.
You just unlocked a core memory, Brian.
Uh,
I remember I was mowing, I think my dad's backyard, which is super long,
mm-hmm.
and I had the mower set all the way up, and it kept clogging up, and I was like popping that thing like it was Dre's hoopty,
Yeah.
Just trying to get the grass out.
That was something I'm watching this guy doing, and I'm like because he gets to a certain point and you're just and I'm like, lift it up, because it's like if you push down on the handle where you lift the front end of the mower up,
it shoots grass everywhere.
It'll blow all that grass out of there, and then the mower will usually pick right back up, and then you got to move backwards though, because you don't want to put it right down on a thick
You just dropped a bunch of yard cocky right there. You got to move on.
Yeah, and so after the guy went about 4 passes, he started figuring it out a little bit more. And
dude, I would just sit on my porch and just drink beer and watch this guy struggle. I'm not gonna lie.
After a couple passes, he figured out that when he got over by the driveway to do the thing where you lift it up and blow out all that extra grass.
Yeah, I love that move. That's a solid move.
Well, you have to when the grass is real tall and if it's damp at all. You have to do that stuff.
Here's my question for you.
Mm.
Did he have a mower that had a side chute?
I don't know.
Or was he trying to mulch that wheat field?
So my guess was it was probably trying to mulch.
Oh yeah, no, he was trying to bag that shit?
It had a bag on the back of it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh jeez. See, a lawnmower simulator, he would have failed immediately.
But it was just like I told my mom, I was like, the first thing he needs to do is set that mower as high as it goes, basically. Do one pass on it, then come back in, because it'll be way easier to cut after one pass.
What he needs to do is light this whole yard on fire.
Yeah, but I was like,
scratch.
She kept telling me, she's like, you should go over there and I'm not going over there and tell him cut the grass. Like,
dude, you should have had like 18 empties next to you at this time.
Seriously, I could have.
Just have your feet up, just drinking beers, pointing and laughing.
The island that's in our kitchen. I was sitting there. I could look right out the window and watch him. And also, I noticed that there's like where the window is in the middle of the house. It's basically right down the middle of the front yard. There must have been a dip there. And you know how it is. Like if you don't realize there's a dip somewhere and the grass is the same height all across, you think it's the same height all across, but it's not. It's taller.
Yeah, you're off-roading, son.
Right. So when you hit that dip, it's And he kept doing that, and I'm like, man, when is he going to learn when he gets to that middle to do the, the tip back, cut some of it down, back up, go over,
This is a life lesson for this young man. Was he a young man?
He's younger.
Okay.
I don't know how.
That's a life lesson. Mow your grass right away, you fool.
Well, there's that. That's the big mistake there. Honestly, it was tall enough that realistically, that's one of those times, if you have the money, you just pay somebody else to cut your grass that time, and then you get after it after that, because it's such a pain in the ass. Like, honestly, he cut it and looks good, but he's going to need to get back out there probably within 3 or 4 days and give it another cut.
Oh, for sure.
Or it's going to get out of control again, And I'm curious to see how long they wait to cut it, because, they have thick grass too. You never know in places like this, you never know which kind of grass you're going to get, because people burn up yards and put, you never know what kind of grass seed they put down. So they're going to have to stay on top of it. And especially, we got a little rain last night.
Oh, yeah.
We got a nice day with some sunshine. So there's a good chance here in a couple days.
Welcome.
That grass is.
You're in the jungle, baby.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But it's funny because I haven't cut a yard in a long time, but boy, did it take me back to my youth when I did a lot of that grass cutting. Because like I said, my brother's house got a big yard, and for anyone who's never been there, Tony, I think
I'm aware.
Like it has a hill toward the back.
It's like almost a grassy knoll.
Oh my God, where that hill is, that grass is so thick and water pools there, so it's almost always wet. Like even when it's dry, it still seems like it's pretty damp.
Right, moist.
So holy shit, is it hard to cut? And it's for years I was like, you need to get a stronger mower / just get a riding mower, because it'd be a whole lot easier.
You get a landscape company.
Yeah.
So Brian,
eventually, he got a better mower that's got a much more like big wheels on the back of it, like got a stronger motor,
Wait,
all
hold
that
on.
shit.
I got a flash of brilliance. You said
Right.
big wheels. What if you took a mower deck and just attached it to a big wheel bike? You just went tearing through the yard.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Be a lot of fun.
That would be. Yeah, I think you would have a better shot at getting your kids to cut the grass.
Probably.
Speaking of,
side note, real quick, when are we gonna hang out on your porch and watch your neighbor cut his yard?
Well, I wasn't thinking about that. I should have called you yesterday.
Because I'll bring like 800 twisted teas or something, and we'll have a time.
We can throw them at him. Yeah.
We'll offer him one, be like, you really need this.
Yeah, he's going to need to cut it in a few days.
Right.
So
me too, actually. My yard's gonna get.
Hey. Yeah, we just got ours yesterday, and it was pushing the like park rules. You know, it was getting pretty ugly, so it needed it. So
hey, what were you saying? I interrupted you.
So here's something I noticed here. I don't know if this is something you've paid any attention to, especially since moving different times and stuff. When we were kids, every summer, spring, summer, fall, whatever, and then into winter, there were always kids going around like, yo, do you need your grass cut? Or in the winter, it was, do you need your driveway shoveled?
Right, absolutely.
Right? Since moving up here, I've noticed there was like one dude who used to go around during the winter and would shovel driveways, and like hardly any kids ever doing it. There's never anybody coming around going, hey, do you need your grass cut? No kids coming around looking to, and where I live, these yards could be cut in probably 15 minutes. Most of them.
Oh yeah.
You could fucking, I mean, you and I, if we were teenagers, could make a haul cutting grass in here, probably even splitting the money. We could probably do $30 an hour, you know, because you just get after it.
Right.
You know? So it's weird to me that I never see any kids like, and also my mom mentioned it and I hadn't thought about it. When you see grass getting cut in here, it's never or rarely kids cutting it. It's almost always adults. And there are kids in here, teenagers, that kind of thing.
That is,
but they're never cutting the grass.
It's interesting you bring that up because, you know,
meanwhile, when we grew up, it was all kids cutting.
That was side business, yo.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, you know, adults are like, finally, you're old enough. Get out there and cut the grass.
Get the fuck out of the house. Trying to diddle your mom.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, no, because, you know, the neighborhood I live in, we have a lot of kids in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I have never once been propositioned to have my grass cut or my driveway shoveled. Not once.
Right.
And not that I would, because I'd be like, get out of here, young man. You don't know what you're doing. I like my yard like I like my yard.
But it's still interesting that it hasn't happened.
It's because, I mean, I hate to sound like an old man, but kids are lazy, Brian.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to make a TikTok when you're mowing the grass. And this is coming from a 44-year-old guy that makes TikToks.
Disagree. You just got to get like the chest mount. And
dude, I mean, I have ever showed you my GoPro mount? You can mount the GoPro on your shoulder like a fucking Predator.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, like a Predator at least.
Yeah, exactly. That's where all my GoPro videos are. Me being bushes, trimming them.
Are we going back? Oh, I thought we were going back to jerking it. All right.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Yeah. It's weird. Like I said, the weirdest part is I don't see people having their kids cut the grass either. Most of the time when I'm seeing people in here anyway, I'm seeing adults cutting the grass.
As a Faja.
Yeah.
Here was my take on it, because I never had my kids cut my grass.
Right.
Because when I cut my grass, it was an excuse to get away from them.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I was like, oh my God, I can get outside. I can put my earbuds in. I can have a couple beers. No, everyone's going to leave me alone because they know I'm cutting the grass. I might just have a bungee cord wrapped around the handle. I might be just cranking a beer down. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
But regardless, people are leaving me alone for a while.
It's just weird because you would just think law of averages would say that there would be at least one group of kids or one kid that would go around trying to make some money.
So what you're saying is there's a business opportunity in your neighborhood.
It's totally, Yeah, and it's totally okay. Like there's no rule in the park against it. Like it's fine. You just don't see it.
Right.
Like last year there was one of the times we got snow. Um the kids who live across the street came over and did our like our driveway, and they did whatever else. And so, or no, it's a couple years ago. So last year they came over different times asking, and it was like, it's like, no, we got it this time. It's like the time we did it was kind of a heavy snow. So it was like, yeah, hey, you young backs and knees.
Hey, stupid.
Yeah. Because we're too old for that shit.
We've got a nice little conversation happening in the chat here of Cheeto, and our pal Nutty the Gnome has joined the chat.
Oh. Well, hello.
Yeah, he says, Nutty says he's out there mowing every 3 days. Now that he's an old man, he has strong opinions and along. And Cheeto was saying a few years ago he was hustling, making an extra $300 to $400 a month doing yards.
Yeah, don't doubt it. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Like, there aren't even adults typically going around. Like, in the park, there's a dude who's kind of, like, known for, cutting grasses.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can think of is that most people just use his service. But you'd think there'd be some kid at least, or another adult or something. There's not, though.
Weird.
Like nobody goes around. No one really posts. Like I've been in the park office and I've looked, and there's no other, like, hey, I cut grass if you need it or anything like that.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. Huh. That's why I was wondering if it was just because of where I live. Like maybe this is a weird microcosm, or if,
I've never even seen kids wandering through like with a heavy snowfall.
Yeah.
And when I was, rewind 15 years ago when I just had my kids. Well, not just, but but I was living in Toledo in our old neighborhood, and we'd get a heavy snowfall and there'd be kids like, hey, can we do your driveway? And it's like, no, I got it,
I mean, hell, we were those kids.
For sure.
Your dad used to be like, "Hey, go see if you can," like.
Absolutely, but you're right. I mean, since I've lived here, we've had a couple heavy snowfalls. I've never once had a kid knock on my door and be like, "Hey, can I do your driveway?"
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell him no, but if he wants to come back in the spring and empty my gutters, that's absolutely, I'll pay him to do that.
Yeah, you're like, hey, you're asking the wrong thing. You need to get a gutter cleaning service. Then yes.
I'm sorry, kid. I'll do my own driveway because I could put beers in the snow, and I'm living the life out there.
Right. It's funny because my brother is like that, to where he doesn't, he has my one nephew cut the grass, but that's only because he has really bad allergies. So it's hard for him to cut the grass,
Right.
But like he gets out and he'll shovel all the snow himself. He doesn't care, But when it comes to eavesdrop, if he was going to pay for a service, of the three, he would take eavesdrop, like paying someone for that over the others.
I mean,
because he's not a big fan of ladders. Also, it's just a shit job.
Like here's my thing with my gutters.
Yeah.
God, this is like old man cast. What the fuck are we doing? But my ladder's a little sketchy for as high as they need to go to get to my gutters, and my roof pitch is a little steep. If my roof was less steep, I'd have no problem getting up there. But as steep as it is, I'm like, I'm good.
Right. Because all you could just see is you just see the video of yourself tumbling off the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'm like wheeling into work. I don't know what I could do, guys, but
Yeah.
So
Well, you're the crane guy, so get after it.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Good times.
All right.
We should get off this old man rant. We've been.
All right. Well, how about this? Here's something.
We should start a podcast called like Gray Bush, and we just old man rant the whole time.
We should. You're right. You know what else is wrong with kids these days? Oh man. The one story you actually alluded to it a little while ago, which was Sheffield man beat neighbor to death with a bag of Pokemon cards.
That was the one I was talking about.
I figured it was.
Pokemon, I choose you. Prison sentence.
Yeah, this is a man who bludgeoned his neighbor to death with a bag full of Pokemon cards because he was angry about being insulted, has been jailed for life. was he insulted because he had Pokemon cards? Now this is the part where it's not funny, which is the guy suffered from a psychotic disorder. It says most likely schizophrenia, which was exacerbated by cannabis use.
Doubt.
But and had stopped taking his medication. That's where the key is there.
Oh,
probably.
Boy, he looks like a cannabis user now.
Yeah. I'm no doctor, but it's like, it feels more like an unmedicated situation than it does, oh, he smoked some weed.
Yeah.
But
the marijuana's made him crazy.
It says, after telling Mr. Wilkinson to come out here and fight like a man, he attacked him with a bag containing 4 or 5 tins of Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah, tins of them.
Yeah, I guess.
Did he throw a Pokeball at him after he beat him down?
That would have been really funny. But then the says Haig then repeatedly punched and stamped on the victim before retrieving a bat or a plank of wood and hitting him numerous times.
Wait a minute. This escalated from Pokemon cards.
Yeah, sure did, yeah. Man, he seriously injured the guy. What is it? Well, obviously they killed him, but yeah, and then it goes on to talk more about his mental illness and stuff. But that is rough, man. And it's one of those things too, right? Like, here's the thing, and we talk about this on the Crazy Life a lot.
Yeah.
Which is, you don't know what the fuck someone else is going through. You don't know what they may have wrong with them. All these kind of factors. It's like, so maybe don't be a dick to people, you know?
It's like you can't.
I'm not saying the guy got what he deserved, you know, but it's just like, maybe just don't be a dick to other people.
Well, it's like, kind of, you know how we talk about every so often that, like, you're in a bar and there's someone acting kind of like an asshole. Maybe he's like 4'11", but he's got cauliflower ears.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just not. No, it's fine.
Yeah. Right.
You can't look for brain cauliflower ears.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You're right. Yep, totally. You don't know. It is very similar in that, though, because you still could, you know, pick a fight with someone. You're like, whatever, I could dust this little dude, and then all of a sudden he fucking, you know, he's got you in a guillotine or something in like 2 seconds. Because it's like, oh shit, this guy actually knows how to fight.
Yeah, like, oh my god, I severely underestimated this little fella.
Right.
All I wanted to do was tussle his hair.
But you're right. You don't know what's going on between somebody's ears, and like I said, it's so what? Even if he's, I don't know. I didn't see if it said what he said to him aside, but it was like, you know, was he teasing him because he had Pokemon cards? Like, who cares? I mean, you know, there's all sorts of adults with Pokemon cards now because a lot of them are worth shit tons of money now.
Accurate.
So they're investments. Most of the people buying them are probably not even playing the game. They're just getting them graded and locking them in a vault somewhere. So, yeah, like I said, you know, maybe just don't pick on people you don't know.
I'm a big fan of mind your business.
Yeah, you know, maybe just leave him. I mean, on this, I guess if it's a neighbor, maybe he does know him, but still, maybe, you know, I don't know if they knew he had, you know, psychotic disorder or anything like that, because that makes it even worse. If you know someone's got something like that and you're still poking the bear, it's like, come on now, like, that's just cruel as well as a dick, you know, that's a dick move. But anyway, speaking of fighting,
what you got?
Suspected Bud Light purchase likely led to altercation outside Ontario liquor store. So apparently somebody had some Bud Light, someone else basically called him some gay slur, and fisticuffs ensued from the way it sounds. And drinking Bud Light doesn't make you gay. And if you think it does, then first of all, you're an idiot. And second of all, you're just an idiot. And I just hope a brick falls on your head. Not that it'll hurt you, but I just hope it happens for the hilarity of it.
Wait a minute, Brian. Hold on.
What?
I've been led to believe my whole life that drinking Bud Light made you gay.
No, unfortunately, it does not.
Huh. Who knew?
However, here's the real fun of this. Is apparently the guy didn't have Bud Light. It says, I guess there were some rainbow colors on the cans, and so it was initiated that way. Then further determination as to what they purchased, they still weren't happy with that it wasn't Bud Light, and they just kept insulting the person. And
wait. So the guy was like, man, you're getting that gay beer, Bud Light. And the guy's like, I don't have Bud Light. And he's like, well, it's not Bud Light. Well, fuck you, or whatever. Is that what I'm led to believe here?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Wow. Remember that mental health issue we were talking about, just the last news story?
Yep. also, again, like, who the fuck cares what other people drink? Even if Bud Light, even if the minute you put Bud Light to your lips, it turned into a giant dildo and you just started sucking on it like crazy.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That they're new dildo cans. Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, come on, like, who cares? It isn't your problem. If you don't like it, just don't drink it.
That
period.
I haven't bought I got to correct myself. I bought a Bud Light like 6 months ago for Michelle's dad.
Oh,
but you are correct.
So what are you saying about her dad?
Gobs. But obviously, what I'm saying is, I'm with you. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I bet you, Brian, this delicious smoked porter that I'm drinking, because it tastes like I'm drinking a campfire, you'd probably be like, I'm not really into that, Tony. And I wouldn't be like, fuck you, Brian. How dare you, sir? I'd be like,
that's not true at all. You totally would.
I'd be like, cool. more black squirrel for me.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make. That's what gets me about this whole thing. Who cares? You know?
It bugs me so much that there's been so much hate perpetrated toward anyone who's not a straight white man, basically, by a lot of these groups, that it's coming to bullshit like this. Just because Bud Light recognized one trans person, people are now assaulting, or a person assaulted another person because they thought they had Bud Light cans in there.
Right.
Whatever. Like, come on. Like, first of all, this is, like, one of the things we always talked about when we go to these beer fests, one of the things we love the most is a camaraderie.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody there loves beer. Well, most of the people there. There's some that, maybe just be designated drivers. But
those people hate everybody.
Yeah. But most people there love beer. And that's the whole point of them, is to celebrate that we all love beer. We may not all like the same beers, but most of us are not like attacking each other. And I don't mean even physically, but just like, oh, you like IPAs?
Yeah, oh, well, you must be a hipster douchebag. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I am.
As they drink their cider or whatever.
But no, you are correct. Everyone's there because they all love beer.
So if you're at the liquor store, we're all at the liquor store because we want liquor, or beer or what, you know what I mean? It's like, we're already, and then, you immediately are overlooking the similarity there. And it's like, why do you find the need to assault somebody over their choice? I mean, can you imagine, take the trans thing away. Can you imagine just assaulting someone just because they like Bud Light?
No, I can't.
You know what I mean? Like, just how asinine that is.
But I have to say, Brian, here, this isn't say we're at Beer Fest.
Yeah.
Right? We're enjoying our craft beers. And we turn the corner, and Anheuser-Busch is there, and they had a Bud Light tent. We'd be like, what the fuck are they doing here?
Oh, true. I mean,
but it wouldn't be because of anything except that it's Bud Light.
Well, and we're not going to go over to that tent and like stomp it and set it on fire, most likely.
Most likely.
It's most likely. It just depends on how drunk we are.
Most likely.
And if the Lord told us to.
Most likely.
But it's like, come on.
Yeah, no, I will never understand this level of hatred that people have.
Yeah, and not just about the beer thing.
Just in general.
Over the weekend, we saw there was like a dude who just drove into a place because he knew there were like immigrants living there or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't understand it.
And I know we do. We know what it is. It's like the stuff people are consuming is breeding fear and hatred.
Yes.
And it's sad. It's so sad. So, anyways, I know.
We haven't talked about yet.
The weekend, I just realized.
Was our Saturday hang.
Yeah, you're right. We should talk about that.
And we got to tease that. Because, we might get some Patreon subscribers.
Right.
Yeah, let's get off this negative Nelly bullshit and talk about some good times.
All right.
Also bad times, but good times.
Yeah.
So you and I, we hung out on Saturday. It's been a long time coming. And surprise to me, because I wasn't planning for it, we ended up recording some content.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought we were just gonna hang out and have a time and plan our tattoos.
Yep.
And
Nope.
next thing I know, oh my God, Brian, did the sun just turn on? What the
Oh,
fuck was that?
no. Tab just opened, and when it did, it was all white.
It reminded me of when like Trump looked at the eclipse. Eh.
I've seen better.
Yeah, we ended up hanging out on Saturday. Made some delicious smoked queso out on the smoker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, boy, did I shit like a champion the next day. That was amazing. Just saying. But you brought some treats for us.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call them treats.
Oh, they were treats, I guess.
Yeah, they were. They were.
I mean, yeah, we did have I had a couple beers before while we were eating tasty nachos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
we've talked for a while about having the hard Mountain Dews, like since
they came out.
Right, but first of all, we had to wait for them to come to our area.
Yes.
Because we were not one of neither of our states were one of the states.
We're not extreme enough.
Yeah, for quite a while. Well, yeah, I know. There's some extreme in Michigan.
That's true. That's true.
Not that
the roads,
extreme,
am I right?
Yeah, the roads. But yeah, and the only way once it did that I was able to find it was basically all they had was like the regular Mountain Dew and like a tall boy, or the multi-pack, which had various flavors in it. And I didn't really want to buy the multi-pack because I didn't know how they were going to be. And I don't really want to get stuck with a bunch of things that I don't want to drink.
That's the guy that gave me my my Crowler. Asked me because he saw the check-ins on Untapped. He's like, "How were they?" And I'm like, "Eh." You know, like, and then he's like, my buddy came over and bought the tall boys. He's like, you sell them in 12 packs, right? I'm like, yeah, he didn't want to get saddled with all that.
Yeah, because I didn't know how they were. Yeah. And to find out what we thought, of course, I mean, you gotta go to
Patreon, saltylanguage.com on Patreon. Check it out.
So yeah, but these, I will say this though, the ones I got weren't just tall boys. They were a pint and a half each.
Oh, they were like, what do we call them? Girthy boys, I think, or something.
Yeah, they were a lot.
Yeah, it was intense.
Especially just for tasting. We really needed one or two more people to get in on it so that it would have cut it.
Yeah, but we're the hardcore champions.
True.
Yeah.
It's true. We did finish. We didn't pour any of it out.
Yeah, the next day taking out my recycling, I was like, what a bunch of fucking idiots we are. I was looking at the cans of shame.
Yep, despite Michelle's best efforts to get you to not drink that last one.
Yep, real teacher.
Yep. So, yeah, that was... But, yeah, first of all, definitely check out the Patreon if you hadn't, if you want to listen to that. Because we talked for, God, what was it?
It was like an hour and a half. It was basically a whole episode of Salty Language that we did. Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly centered around us drinking that, but it's also...
We went off the rails a lot. That's all right, though. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's just you just turn the recorder on, and we just talked until we finished.
That's one thing I got to say. We're recording in my living room this time, so the audio is way less echoey, but we fucked up, Brian.
Uh-oh.
We put the recorder on the tray where we were, like, putting our glasses down.
Oh, shit,
so every once in a while, I was just like, boom. So for future reference, we need to not have the recorder sitting on the tray we're using.
Yeah, that's whoopsies.
Yeah, whoopsie-daisy.
We'll dial it in at some point.
But, I mean, the audio sounded way better than the last time, so...
Well, good, because that last audio was
so echoey.
terrible.
I mean, it's not amazing, but it's way better than what it was.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that, because, yeah, that was pretty strong last time. But, yeah, like you said, had good nachos, a good hang. Got a little stupid on... alcohols.
Oh, for sure. That's good stuff.
I had a Scotty Karate, which I haven't had in, man, I don't know how long.
Right? Cheeto's commenting on how Bomber's snoring was incredible. It is an art form.
Yeah.
That's a pit bull thing. They snore like humans.
Yeah.
I've owned two, and they both snore like a goddamn human being. Yeah.
Yeah. Be nice if she'd just go in the other room and snore.
Nah, she's got to be here for people.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know. That's why I said it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Like, damn it, we're recording. Can you go in the other room and
you need to leave, stupid. Honestly, if I would have looked at her and be like, Bomber, baby, we got to go. She would have just got up and put herself in a crate and then been wondering why no one locked her in there.
Like, I did what I was supposed to. Where'd
Where
he go?
is he? Why is he out there talking? He's supposed to be locking me up and leaving.
Right. Yeah, it was a good time.
I had a lot of fun.
Especially felt good for me, obviously, as I said earlier about the, being stuck in the house for as long as I was. So it was nice to be anywhere else, essentially.
Let me tell you, when I looked at the weather a couple days beforehand, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. Like, we could hang out on the patio, get a fire going, and then it just got cold as balls for no reason at all.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was really weird.
Because, like you said, started out, it was gorgeous that day. Like you said, shorts weather and everything, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was kind of overcast and cool, and
it turned into the suck, man.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I like it.
Oh, so yeah, for $3 will get you in the door if you want on our Patreon.
There's a decent amount of content over there.
For $3 a month. Hell, for $3 once, there's a decent amount of content on there.
And listen, I can't be mad at anybody who would pay $3, listen to everything, and get out. Because I do the same shit with streaming services. I'll grab it, get that free week or that discount rate, get all I want out of it, and then cancel it. I've done it how many times? So, we can't be mad at it.
I ordered the right cord for my recorder now, Brian, though.
Okay,
so
that's good.
Be fully expecting the Creed breakdown coming soon. I'm going to be doing because I can't do the one for my car. It just doesn't sound right. I'm going to be doing a Jimmy Buffett breakdown soon. Yeah. And hopefully you guys like listen to music. And if you don't, let me know because I'll stop doing it. But I'm going to be listening.
Well, we also have that list of Uber stuff found in Uber cars for us to go over too.
Yes.
We put that together. And...
Oh yeah. So there's content coming.
Yeah.
And now that summer's here, I don't know why it's summer, but it always makes me feel like hanging out more. Honestly, now that COVID restrictions have really been lifted too.
COVID doesn't even exist anymore, I think. I'm pretty sure it's canceled now, right?
Oh, yeah. Cancel COVID. Cancel COVID.
According to the World Health Organization, I guess it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, we definitely.
Which is really funny. I saw some recent numbers on that. And basically, I figured out what it is.
What's that?
It doesn't exist in, it does, obviously. But it doesn't exist to them as much in Europe and the United States. It's mostly in, like, struggling countries in Asia.
They don't count.
So basically, they don't count.
Eagles don't scream over there.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, not that I just want to hang out and record stuff, but you and I should just definitely hang out more in general for that. And if we happen to record some dumb shit, because with that little portable recorder, it's way easier now.
True. Yeah. Just gotta, just dial the last pieces in, like you said, not putting it on a table with. I can't believe I didn't think about that because I'm usually really good about that. Because remember, even like a few weeks ago, where I'm like, "There's something on your desk that it's picking up," and it, and we thought it was like you're typing or whatever. And it was like we were trying to dial it in. I'm usually really sensitive.
I didn't think that. I loaded it up into a GarageBand because I wanted to listen to it. I'm like, "Oh, this sounds pretty good." I'm looking at it. I'm like, "What is that massive spike?" And it was just like a glass going down. I'm like, and I started looking. I'm like, oh God, there's more of them.
And we're probably talking during it too, so you can't just clip it out. Probably.
Yeah. So I was just like, whatever.
That's how it always is.
Or it's a can like 2 inches away from the microphone.
Yeah, I didn't so much think about that when I opened the cans. It literally was right next to it.
I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
I mean, we had been drinking a little bit too, but oh shit, I completely didn't even. It said. I'm really surprised at myself that I didn't think of some of that because it's usually stuff because of being sensitive to sound.
Oh, right.
I usually try to think of stuff like that, like, because when I listen to other podcasts, sometimes I'm like, oh, I really want to write to them and be like, hey, can you quit doing this? This is really awful for people with sensitivity.
I think we were just in the zone of just bullshitting.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's actually kind of what I like about that recorder, because it just sits there. We don't have like me. I like, I'm conscious that I need to lean into my mic a little bit.
Right.
With that, you just talk and it's there, and I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of nice. It kind of makes it a little more natural, maybe.
It does.
That's why I had to delete that hate speech cast we had.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have
I
to.
didn't have to.
Yeah. You could have put that up on Truth Social or something.
That's
probably.
true.
It would probably done really well.
That would have done great.
Yeah.
Big numbers.
Yeah, big numbers. The biggest.
The best. Yeah, good times. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, we for sure got to do that again more frequently.
Absolutely.
And such and things.
And stuff. Oh, it's Fentanyl Awareness Day. I didn't know that.
It's
Fentanyl Awareness Day.
Oh.
Yeah. So don't be snorting some sus shit.
Please. Please don't.
Please don't.
All right. So I got 2 last stories to do here real quick.
I hope so, because I got to piss so bad. I don't know, man.
You'll be all right.
All right, what do you got?
Here we go. So the first one is, it's more about just Tennessee hotel night manager charged after guest woke up to him sucking on his toes.
What?
Yep. A South Hilton guest woke up to a hotel night manager sucking on his toes.
Oh, God, this guy looks like a toe sucker.
Yeah, he does, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah, after waking up to Neil sucking on his toes, the man realized Neil had entered his room the day before to help solve a TV issue. And Neil said he told the police he went into the guest room because of the smell of smoke.
Sure he did.
Them smoking hot toes.
Hell yeah.
He's like, they were just like little cigars. I had to suck on them.
I had to get a little taste.
It's like, I thought he was cooking bacon in there.
What the fuck? One, I don't care whose feet it is. I'm not sucking on her goddamn toe.
Especially not, like, you don't know what you don't know if them toes is clean. You know,
I'd like to stay there. He could suck on my toe, motherfucker. He'll die immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I think feet are disgusting anyway, so you for sure will not catch me sucking toes.
What?
But, oh, man.
Wow. Is that part of the package, maybe? It is a Hilton.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I got the rooms mixed up. The guy next door redeemed some of his rewards points for the toe sucking amenity.
TSS, the toe sucking service.
Yeah, I am so sorry, sir.
My apologies.
Meanwhile, there's another guy, standing out in the hallway. Where's my toe sucker?
There's supposed to be somebody sucking my toe.
I can't sleep if I don't get my toe sucked.
Everyone knows. For me to good night's sleep, I gotta have my toe sucked as I'm jerking off.
I have a big meeting at the office tomorrow. I need to be at my best.
In peak physical condition.
I got all this stress in my toes. I need taken.
This guy looks like a ghoul. Like he's got one of those weird, like, not symmetrical heads. I don't like it.
I don't either. All right, moving on to the last story here. Thieves in Peru stole 200 sneakers worth about $13,000.
Is this American money or Peru money?
I don't know. If it was Peru money, that's like $12. But
that's what I was getting at.
No, it's American, I believe. But the shoes that they got are all for right feet.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Why just put in Peru sneakers, assuming it would come up? Nah, just a bunch of Peruvian shoes. That's weird.
Yeah. And the police very much, like, I guess they have fingerprints and different stuff, so they very much think they'll be able to catch them.
What's with your back-to-back feet stories?
I don't know. That's very weird tonight. But can you imagine, like, how mad you would be if you were, like, high-fiving with your buddies because you just completed, like, Ocean's 11 style, the big shoe heist, and you're all like, yeah, and then you get back to the warehouse and you're like, wait
a minute. There's got to be a market for these. Find a bunch of people missing their left leg.
Yeah, but like, did we only get half? I mean,
yeah.
like, where's all the left shoes? Oh, fuck. They broke into a shoe store, so they probably, for the displays, they just put the one shoe
Oh,
out
you
there. They don't.
dum-dums.
Yeah.
What a bunch of asshats.
Yep. Love it. Love it so much. Wait, I missed this. What? Surveillance video captured the fleet-footed but bumbling trio breaking a padlock to gain entry in the middle of the night and using a tricycle to steal the shoes from several brands.
I'm assuming it's one of those big tricycles with a basket.
I sure
like
hope
a grocery
so,
getter tricycle.
Yeah. It's much more comical if you think of it as just a plain tricycle. But
big wheel strikes again.
Right. Or it's one of those that's kind of like a motorcycle, but it's a 3-wheel.
Oh, man, that's a good way to die. They banned those for reasons.
Yeah, because they're terrible ideas. Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. That's the last story I have.
Beautiful.
Now, since you have to hose like a motherfucker, do you want to take a break before we do our Q the W?
I mean, we can.
Yeah, because I kind of have to.
Like my molars are floating. I think I taste urine.
Yeah. All right. Well, that has nothing to do. You've been drinking.
Is that what that is? I should probably see a doctor if it's my urine.
Yeah. If your urine looks like motor oil,
right.
you for sure.
Well, I am a robot, Brian.
Yeah. Sir, from Futurama, there's an episode where Fry's peeing. He's supposed to be a robot, but he has to pee, and he starts peeing, and another robot comes up like, "Sir, are you aware that you're leaking coolant?"
That's hilarious. Well, if you're watching live, we'll be right back. If you're listening on a podcast, I'm assuming it's gonna be like nothing happened.
Exactly. All right, we're
Boom.
back. Nice
Oh
and
my
easy.
God. Dude, I feel so much better.
Oh, me too. It's one of those times where it's like I knew I had to go, but don't think I realized how much.
It was
So,
it's reached a critical mass.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
we're good now. Means I could
All right.
This is right here, this little bit. That's
Yeah.
the last of my crowler, my guy.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow. Good work.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah. Right.
So what are we doing? Q to W?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Right.
Yep.
Last week we asked you guys what small thing everyone can do to make the world a better place. Is that right?
Yes.
No.
What's one thing? Well, no. What's something everyone should have in their car?
Oh, what the fuck? Why is that? Hold on. Give me a second. There it is. I clicked on the wrong Q to W. Last week we asked you what's one item everyone should have in their car. Instagram, we got nothing. I do know that. Yeah, sad face. But on Face page, Diamond Top Fan Big Dev, he says an emergency $20.
Oh, that's an interesting one. That's also not a bad call because you never know where you could be and need some cash.
Yeah, like somewhere to get some freaking fentanyl laced cocaine on Fentanyl Awareness Day.
Right. Or a really cheap hooker.
A really cheap hooker.
Yeah. Or depending on the place, maybe the old hand job sandwich combo.
Nice. About time.
Yeah. Yep.
Blake from Hobie, he says jumper cables. I mean, that's that's pretty good too.
Yeah. I sure hope so. It's amazing though how many people don't have jumper cables though. Like they really don't, and you should.
I mean, I have, I think, multiple pair. Yeah, I have multiple pair. None of them are in my car.
Yeah, that's where it ends up being a problem. There's a lot of almost every time I've seen somebody need a jump for their car, someone in the parking lot has some, but it's so much more helpful if you have your own.
For sure.
Yeah, my dad always used to keep a set of jumper cables in every vehicle he had, basically, because
I mean, for a while there in my Jeep, I always carried a pair of jumper cables because the battery was terrible.
Which is also an extra good reason. If you have issues with your battery, you for sure should. I mean, really, the answer there would be get a new battery, but
I did when I eventually was driving to work and it just died, and then I had to pay extra battery money because AAA brought it to me. Good times.
Very expensive delivery.
Yeah. Jeff from Hobie, where's Jason? We would have had the trifecta. He says gasoline. I mean, I don't know if he means in your tank, because having a tank, like a can of gas in the back of your car, I mean, unless you just want to get high as you drive, it seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad always, and this is funny because I don't know how many times I was with my dad and we're basically ghosting to the gas station.
Good times.
Just on vapors. But he always told me to try to keep your gas tank above a quarter of a tank if possible. Yeah. For various reasons, but just that your chance of running out is significantly lessened if you always can put more in there. But obviously that's not always something people can do, as I learned working at a gas station where, people come up and basically are just like, here's the change I have, put that much in my gas tank.
Right.
Like, okay, sure, sir, 67 cents it is.
I remember one day I was driving, I think home from work. I was trying to get to the gas station on Stearns there. I was trying to get off on Stearns, like coming out of Michigan. Yeah. Sorry, going local, everybody. Yeah. And my gas light was on when I left. Yeah, I left the home. That's right. And I ran into like a traffic jam. And I was just shitting my pants because I'm in the Jeep, which gets, the worst gas mileage in the history of mankind. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck. I just turned it into a Jeep thing. I just was like driving through grass and shit, trying to get to the exit ramp. Because I'm like, I'm going to run out of gas in the middle of this fucking traffic jam.
Right. Well, and it sucks because there really is nothing you can do there.
There was nothing I could do but turn into a Jeep thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then
like
Diamond Top fan Kiki, she says, and she posted an Amazon link, which makes me think she's an affiliate. She posted roadside emergency kit, car emergency roadside toolkit with jumper, cable, shovel, auto truck safety assist, vehicle bag mend, worming first aid kit, winter basic, automobile safety, road travel, axle removal tool set for wheel.
Wow, that is a lot of keyword spamming.
Woo!
But a very good idea.
Yes.
And, any sort of a roadside emergency kit,
especially axle removal, perfect.
Yeah. It is. There is a lot of stuff in there that most people wouldn't keep in their car that you really should have, but you don't.
That's all we got on the face page, my guy.
All right. I gotta pull up Cheeto's answer here.
The legendary Cheeto Bandito.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like his answer.
I can't wait.
What's a must-have item in your vehicle? A knife.
Hell
Doesn't
yeah,
have to be a Rambo blade, just a good quality pocket knife, which is true because you just never know when you might need a knife or something.
I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I don't need it in my car because it's always on my pocket.
Yeah. Well.
What?
Yeah. He says Hobie picks a charging cord for your phone,
That's a good
lighter.
One. That's a good one.
And a small air compressor. That's also a good one in case you have a tire situation.
True.
If you've got one of those little ones that you can keep in a trunk or something like that.
Are you talking about like children?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, and then I actually forgot over on Twitter, Garrett responded with a gift from I think this was local. Well, I don't know if it was local or not, but I know a local car company used it, it was a gift of Trunk Monkey.
Nice. You can't go wrong with Trunk Monkey.
Right. And I appreciated that because, like you said, you can't go wrong with a Trunk Monkey. Hit the Trunk Monkey button. Yeah, this must be just, it doesn't show the whole thing. It just shows the thing. And actually, I mean, if you want to be a real asshole about it, it's actually a trunk ape because no tail.
It doesn't like roll off the tongue as much, though.
No, I know, but monkeys, monkeys have tails, apes don't. But just saying.
What if you chop the monkey's tail off? Does it become an ape?
Yeah, that'd be okay. No, it becomes a really mean monkey.
Yeah, it becomes very sad.
Yeah. Why'd you cut my tail off? That was very not nice. All right. So the Q the W, which originated from at friggin' French on Twitter.
Oui.
And she had posted, what's a bizarre home remedy you grew up with? And I was just reading through some of the answers on here, and wow, like warm goose grease for an earache that was poured into your ear.
Wow. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah. I've heard of people doing dumb shit like using candles in your ears, but there's absolutely no science that there's anything beneficial to that.
We did that.
Yeah, but you actually can hurt your ears. It's very much
that
not
explains
recommended.
A lot.
Coca-Cola syrup was one on here, which was an old remedy for stuff. People used to use it for all sorts of things. This one blew my mind. Tartar sauce to cure hiccups.
What?
Never heard that before.
I used to use tartar sauce to cure boring French fries.
Yeah.
I still do, actually.
Delicious, right? Yeah. Pickle juice for heartburn or sore throat. I've heard that one before. For the heartburn. Never heard it for sore throat. But I heard it for heartburn because it's what do you call it? God, I can't think of the word for it. It kills the acidity of the heartburn, basically.
I mean, I guess in my family, it was always like if you have a stomach ache, you drink flat Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Someone in here mentioned Sprite.
Yeah,
for
not bubbly. It's got to be flat.
Right, it's got because the carbonation can upset your tummies. Yeah. I remember that when I went to a school nurse one time and she gave me a flat Sprite, basically, because she opened it and waited until it got,
decarbonated or whatever.
I guess. Yeah, I don't. But, I was just, this one I had heard from someone else before, which was eating Vicks Vapor Rub which 100% you
say
shouldn't
eating
do.
it?
Eating it, yeah.
Wow.
Which for like they have it for like croup, like a laryngitis or coughs, those
Yeah.
kind of things. But yeah, that's why I was just scrolling through here to see if there were any. Yeah, this one I had heard too. My mom actually is this, like, arms above your head when you're coughing, because it supposedly clears the airway. But yeah, and there was another one in here. I'm trying to find it. That was like where you put like an onion in your. There it is. This one says my mom will put sliced raw onions in my socks if I had a high fever. I'd wake up in the morning. It just says I'd wake up in the morning with them cooked and the fever was gone. They weren't cooked. There's no fucking way. Like, your body's not hot enough to cook those onions. I mean, unless you're running like, yeah, like you got to be running on a high. Like, they're not really cooked. But anyways, but it said and the fever was gone. And it said also if you had a wart, cut a potato in half, rub half on the wart and bury the other half in the backyard. And that's another one that I remember my mom saying was used back when she was a kid.
I remember when like Logan was first born, he was teething. My aunt was like, just give him a chicken bone. Just let him chew on a chicken bone. We were like, no.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I had many weird ones in my family. I mean, there was the plug in your nose while drinking water to get rid of hiccups. But that seemed to work for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a home remedy, but I got potty trained using Hershey Kisses.
Well, that's the Pavlovian
for
move,
sure,
right? Yeah.
It's why every time someone hands me a Hershey Kiss, I just shit my pants.
Good to know. Yeah, it's weird because I feel like I grew up with a lot, but I can't really remember any other than the like arm over the head one for sure. Like, I remember hearing that a lot when I'd start coughing. Like, it's like raise your left arm, I think it is. But I know there's probably more, but just the ones in there, I've heard of a few of them that were in there. I remember my mom telling me that like her dad would do that, like the wart one with the potato.
Sounds like black magic.
And yeah, I know, right? And I've heard the onions in the sock thing before, for a fever and different. And I was just like, how the fuck? Like, what is that supposed to even, like, that doesn't make any sense.
The onions, obviously, the fever gets transferred into the onions through your feet. Obviously.
Yeah. Well, like, one of the people in there mentioned about, like how his family was all about the Vicks Vapor Rub and, putting it on your chest and different stuff. And they're like, and on the bottom of your feet. And they're like, that doesn't make it. And it was like, well, that's a thing you do for little kids so that they don't touch it and touch their face. But it also works for adults. I don't know. As an adult, I've put it on my feet because, like, my sinuses, it's hard for me to have it on my chest. It's too strong almost. So if I put it on my feet, I can still smell it and it's in the air, but it's not.
I just put it on my feet so I can do the risky business slide.
Yeah, nice. You just have to watch out if you're staying at a Hilton or whatever.
I don't have to watch out. The maitre d' does. Fucking weirdo.
Right. Wake up and he's tonguing your foot.
Like, oh, this is menthol.
Yep. Not again. Yeah, at that point, it's done as more of a preventative measure. Oh, man. I'm really curious on this one, if we get some answers on this, because some of the ones that I've heard, it's just mind-blowing to me what people used to believe.
Exactly, right?
Not just used to. I shouldn't even say
still
used
do.
to. Still do. There's people who still swear by some of these, and you're like, there is nothing like scientifically they've told you, well, all I know is it works. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe you should read up on the placebo effect because if you think it works, it could work.
I mean, legitimately, like the groundhog. Like who is this rodent warlock that predicts our weather?
Yeah. I'd be so much happier if it was a rodent.
I mean, that would be sweet, actually.
They came out with like a beard exactly. And a staff.
Like a staff with a little skull on it.
Yeah. I predict summer.
Yeah. Death. Everyone in the crowd just dies.
Yeah. Oh boy, not
They
again.
failed their save.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good boy. The one on there that gets me is the original posters. The one, the fucking flour in the water to ward off diarrhea.
Yeah, I think that would accelerate diarrhea.
Oh my god. Oh, plus it's just a paste. It's just gonna taste terrible.
Delicious. A little
Okay.
salt in there. Maybe
Yeah.
a little cumin.
I mean, just turn it into gravy, it'd be one thing, but you know.
Hell yeah, now we're talking.
Little beef stock in there with it. Maybe you're all right.
Like a little melted butter. Get some whisk action going.
Yeah. Like, okay, now I'll drink a glass of this.
Now we're talking.
I'm gonna need some mashed potatoes though too.
Are we adding sausage and milk? What the fuck? Let's get some biscuits in this bitch.
Right. Like, you know, I feel so much better already.
It's so weird how my diarrhea went away because I'm full of biscuits and gravy. Oh wait, never mind. It's back.
It's back. Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
It might be worse. Oh god. You know, the worst part would be even if there was no causation, but like you take it and then your diarrhea happens to go away.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then it's like, see, I told you it'd work, and be like, did it though, or did the diarrhea maybe just stop on its own? You know,
like I mean, if I could convince somebody to make me frickin' biscuits and gravy just because I had a little like ruddiness,
yeah,
I would always be like, oh man, I just can't stay out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Probably gonna need some biscuits and gravy.
Probably, yeah, from scratch.
From scratch, as is tradition.
Right, because the store bought ones don't help.
Yeah, it's not helping at all. Yeah, makes it worse actually.
Right. All right.
So weird.
So I guess with that, I mean, do I still tell them to head to saltylanguage.com?
That's in a holding pattern because for some reason to transfer it from our previous host,
sure,
I guess, to the one that I'm taking it to.
Yeah,
could take 5 to 7 days, which is pretty annoying.
Pretty rude. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can say head to saltylanguage.com and probably nothing will come up.
Okay, well, whatever.
But soon it'll come up to a sweet ass link tree of all our goodness on it.
Well, if for some reason it doesn't, you can also find a lot of the information on our Twitter and in the show notes. I have links to, I think, everything that imaginable you can link to for us. So there's that as well.
Indeed.
You know,
by next show, everything should be shipshape.
So, yeah. All right. Well, all right then. Well, I guess, just also want to point out that we're part of the Tangent Bound Network, which can be found at tangentboundnetwork.com. So go check out the other shows there. And if you're looking for a network for your podcast, come join us over there. And if you talk to Mark, tell him Tony needs some biscuits and gravy.
I do.
And also maybe tell him I need some, because I mean, I'm never going to say, well, can't say never, but I generally wouldn't say no to biscuits.
I don't think I ever would.
The only way I would is if I saw the biscuits ahead of time and they look like bricks, basically, and I'd be like,
briskets. I love
brisket.
Dude, brisket and gravy. No, that's kind of fucking with brisket.
Delicious.
But what if you cubed up brisket and then made?
That's what. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah. I mean, you still cook brisket. And it's delicious. And make
you need to like hang on to some of that brisket fat, so then you can turn it into some fucking brisket gravy. Brisket and biscuits. Now that's a food truck.
Yeah, briskets and gravy for sure.
And gravy.
Yeah. Yep. I'm in.
Sounds pretty good.
All right. Well, if you want to reach out to us on social media, you can find the show at salty_language. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and I guess Mastodon if you want to look over there at Stu.
Beautiful. You can find me on Instagram at The Monotony. I'm also behind because I can't convince Brian to join. I'm behind as TikTok at Salty Language on TikTok. If you're watching the video like our beautiful friends who have been, awesome. Check us out, saltylanguagepod on YouTube, not .com. And if you're not watching a video but you want to, Salty Language Pod on YouTube. Like, subscribe, make some comments. Join the live chat when we're recording live. Why the fuck not? You can check me out occasionally on All the Beers Pod on or not. God damn it, Brian. I'm tired and maybe a little buzzed. You can check me out on all the beers on YouTube, where I do some streaming from time to time. Patreon.com/saltylanguage for the hard Mountain Dew tasting we just did and other content. $3 gets you in the door. And Brian, you also have another gig.
As of right now, we haven't recorded in a while now, so I need to get with the other elders of the tribe and see when we're gonna do something.
Everyone's
here.
A little busy, I guess.
But if you're Heno's off gallivanting all over Jamaica.
I'm so jealous. I see the pictures. I'm like, oh God.
Looks like he's having a great time.
I want to go back so hard.
Yeah. Go check out our podcast, The Crazy Life, where we talk about mental health and mental illness and recovery, addiction, just all sorts of stuff like that. And we usually talk about like an article that we find or whatever. So if you're into that, give us a listen, please. And yeah. So I guess with that, that's the end of, the regular show, but also here comes the insult of the week. So as I pull the thing up, I don't know. I don't like this one. This one's kind of butt, but this week it's Cumber World.
That sounds like Benedict Cumberbatch's like theme park. Welcome to Cumber World.
Yeah. It's just all themed off of like projects he's done, like Doctor Strange, Sherlock, and
Smogville.
Smogville, yeah.
Smog, whatever.
Smog, yeah. But it actually is a term used to denote a person that was totally useless.
Wow, I might be using that in full effect tomorrow. We'll see how second shift leaves me.
It's weird though, right? Because it's like it doesn't feel like that to call someone a Cumber World. That doesn't, that feels like it's a bigger term than the definition.
Yeah, I'll just shorten it down to cunt.
Yeah, there you go. Pretty sure that's what
I think so. Yeah, Cumber World's a little weird. It's a little cumbersome, honestly.
It is.
It's a little. It's a little. Damn it, you beat me to it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Cumber World.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, with that, have a beer. You'll be fine.
Yeah, have like a giant can of beer. You'll be fine. Trust me. Also, stay salty, everybody.